Last time, on Fumbles and Fame Plays Tomb of Annihilation, the party finally arrived at the summit of Firefinger. Very quickly, they were assaulted by the Terrafolk, but dispatched of them quite effectively. They searched the watchtower with the ever-burning flame on top of it, and discovered a fair amount of loot, and also Azaka's wooden tiger mask, the whole point of that current quest. Sin also found a strange raptor whistle that, when blown, summoned a number of spectral velociraptors, small ones that would do his bidding. They descended Firefinger after making all of their discoveries, and returned Azaka's mask, to which she had essentially then told the party that she owed them a life debt. After resting, the party had two choices. Either head to Kir Sabal, a monastery of Arakakra, where they could receive a magical gift of flight, or travel to Camp Vengeance, a camp for the Order of the Gauntlet, to resupply and to return to Port Nianzaru. The party, after some discussion, decided to head to Camp Vengeance, and very quickly realized that everything in the land of Chult is deadly. From Mad Monkey Mist to Giralons and Tri-Flower Fronds and everything else, the party became acutely aware of the task that they were up against, trying to find this soulmonger, this necromantic artifact that they are after. Now, all while these questions and mysteries about themselves threatened their minds, they settled into camp. Waking up, they discovered that a dwarf napping had occurred. One of their party members, Mr. T, was missing. They immediately began to look for signs of his abduction, and Azaka helped find a group of strange frog-like tracks in the mud. With one word, Azaka told the party who had their dwarf, Grung. And that is where we pick up our story for today. So you all stand around, standing in the small clearing with many tangled roots of the massive jungle trees that loom over you like ancient green sentinels. A few parrots wing overhead, and monkeys not too far away swing from vine to vine, chattering as they move past the strain of the jungle. Azaka looks at the rest of you, having just confirmed that the Grung have taken your friend. She says, "They move very fast through the jungle. If we wish to retrieve him, we should move as quickly as we can, but it is your decision."
We must get my dwarf buddy.
Yes. Let's go after them.
All right. You travel, following the tracks of the Grung, which are quite visible, for about half a day. About 2 hours into the morning, a light rain begins to come down, and at this point, while miserable, you've gotten so used to it that you can now understand how the regular Cheltons just begin to accept it and to just go about their regular lives, because it's just something that unfortunately happens. However, about a half day of your travel goes by, and the jungle grows even thicker around you. Old vines with long trailing moss hang off of every visible thing that you can see, creating this almost very eerie spiderweb-like feel throughout the jungle. And it begins to close around you, kind of giving you this feeling of claustrophobia, especially with the light rain that begins to kind of close in your visibility a little bit. And then as you begin to move just a little bit forward, the stench of death fills your nose.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I don't like this smell.
Can we see or hear anything?
Make a perception check, Runa.
While she's doing that, I'm casting Mage Armor, and I'm extending it with a sorcery point.
Okay.
Okay. I have an 18 on perception.
An 18 on perception. You're not really sure. It's eerily quiet. You don't hear anything, which in and of itself tells you something. So it's strange. You don't see any movement. Yeah, it's just, you're looking around and it's just weird. It's just this eerie silence all about you.
Okay. But it smells like dead, right?
Absolutely.
Can I use my Grave Cleric ability, Eye of the Grave, to look around and extend my awareness to see if there are undead around as a cause of the stink?
You look around, your eyes going somewhat black, the pupil, the blackness of your pupil kind of extending into the iris a little bit. And you look around and you actually don't see any
Any
undead.
undead?
However, beneath your feet, you hear, like right where your feet are, you hear this kind of rustle in the kind of dead foliage on the ground.
I look down.
Okay, you look down and you just seem to see all sorts of differing vines that are growing and that you kind of have to step over, and roots. However, as you look down, you see one of those vines actually lift up and begin to try and wrap itself around your leg. And I need all of you to roll initiative. Except for you, Anna. Sorry.
3.
3 for Tahina.
21.
11 for Morthos.
Runa. 11 for Morthos. Sin, what'd you get? Was that 21? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. Shelby
19.
and Selenia.
9.
9 for Selenia. All right, Sin, you are first up in the initiative round. Now, you are all surprised by this attack. So essentially, this is a surprise round. So really, you cannot move, nor can you take action. However, at the end of your turn, you can take a reaction if you would like.
Oh, I don't have any reactions. Ah!
And then it is this round. So essentially, for your first round of combat, the only thing you can do at the end of your turn is a reaction.
Yeah, I don't really have any reactions, so I guess I do
And
nothing.
Morthos?
Could I target one of the vines with Hellish Rebuke then?
Does Hellish Rebuke, it's only a cause of melee damage, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Never mind.
And the vine is not attacking you.
Gotcha. All right. Then
All
yeah,
right.
I can't do anything.
Okay, Selenia, would you like to use a reaction at all? Or do you have one?
I don't actually know if I had one. How do you know that?
It'll have an ability that says that you have a reaction or not.
Oh, I don't think.
All right. Well, then, essentially, and the vine will get a constrict attack on your cleric, Runa. He's going to roll for that now. Oh, he rolled an 11, Runa.
I laugh and step back.
All right. However, another vine comes from behind and begins to try and wrap itself around Morthos. That's an 18, Morthos.
Yeah.
All right. Now, interestingly enough, you can now use your reaction if you'd like to Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
And it is 11 bludgeoning damage, and you are considered grappled. As the vine wraps around you like a snake and kind of constricts tight.
What's the for Hellish Rebuke? The vine needs to make a Dex saving throw real quick.
Okay. has a +0, but rolled a 15.
That makes it. So it takes half damage. 15 total, so whatever that is, half? 7?
Actually, that is technically 8 because you round up.
Okay. So yeah, fire damage. 8 fire damage then.
All right. So as the vine wraps around Morthos, you just kind of will that flame to kind of burst from your body around the vine, and you kind of think you hear this kind of soft little little scream of the vine as the fire kind of burns into its flesh. But you actually note that the vine is so thick that it seems to not take as much damage as you would have hoped. Next up in the initiative is Runa. Now, technically, Runa, because you looked down and managed to catch the vine moving before it attacked, you are not surprised for this round of combat.
So I can take an action.
Yes.
And is that technically, is that one creature or more than one?
Well, I would have assumed you would have heard Morthos make a noise when a vine kind of came out of nowhere and wrapped around him. So you do know that there are at least 2 vines attacking.
Okay. Then I'm going to cast Bane on the vines in 30 feet range around me. They have to succeed on a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Oh, they are not good at this at all.
That's what I was hoping for.
One rolled a 12 minus 5 is 7. And one rolled a 3 minus 5, so technically minus 2 for his save.
Okay. So they all are under the Bane effect, and that means they can retake their charisma save every round. And as long as they fail it, they have to roll a d4 with their attacks and subtract that from... It's basically like a reversed bless.
Okay, very nice.
Attacks and saving throws.
And is that a concentration spell for you?
Yes, it is. Up to 1 minute. It's the Grave Cleric domain spell for level 1.
Very cool, very cool. Okay, back to the top of the round, and no longer surprised, Sin, you are up. There is a vine on Morthos and a vine on Runa. I've kind of assumed you guys are traveling collectively as a group. However you want to position yourselves to whoever is fine by me.
I turn and look at Runa's vine, and I just go to strike my axe.
Okay.
With a 14.
14 hits the vine.
Gusta. With an 8.
An 8 damage. And this is on Runa's vine, correct? Excellent. And that is your turn?
Yep.
Then you're up.
Are we in dark or dim light?
It's I'd say dim, but like dim bordering on bright. You know what I mean?
So
That
if
weird,
I have
kind of canopy light.
if I have an ability that says in dim light or darkness, would it work?
Yeah, that works, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Shadow Blade.
Ooh.
So I use shadow to create a sword of solidified gloom in my hand. And that's a bonus. So I'm going to throw it at probably the opposite vine that Sin hit.
Okay, so you're attacking Morthos' vine and you're throwing the...
Yes. So I use it in dim light or darkness.
Ooh. All right, so you watch as then she gets this kind of look on her face, and you see her kind of, it almost seems like she reaches down and scoops up some darkness, and then with a flourish of her hand, the shadow seems to spread and intertwine and then solidify into this dark onyx blade shrouded in shadow.
All right, so I got a 2 and a 15.
15 hits.
That's 10 psychic damage.
10 psychic damage. Okay, so you watch as the shrouded blade then just kind of throws it, and it shines just ever so darkly, like a really dark metallic object shines, and then stabs into the vine. Morthos, you can see it kind of sticking out of the vine as it comes in, and then you see the shadow seemingly pierce right where the sword pierced, and you again hear that kind of echoing scream, very, very faint. Next up in the initiative is Azaka, who is going to pull out her scimitar and make 2 slashing attacks at the one on you, Morthos, trying to get it off you. She didn't roll very good for one. She rolled 11, but she rolled really well for the other one, hitting 21. So she will deal her little damage. Ooh, she rolled max damage on yours, Morthos, for 9 points of damage.
Yay!
And next up is you, actually.
Okay, so I'm still grappled,
You are still technically considered grappled, yes.
and that means I cannot do spells with somatic, right?
Yes.
Would I be able to summon my rapier to stab through the vines? Like from my hand?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. Do I still have to roll the hit?
Mm-hmm.
That is 17.
That hits. So as you're restrained and you're kind of thinking to yourself, Morthos, and you're kind of like, shit. You're just like, oh, wait. And you summon your rapier blade right into the hand, and you are wielding it technically, and you just manage to get force that it stabs into the vine. What's your damage?
Let's see. 7 total.
7 total damage. Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, Selenia, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out the long sword, and I'm gonna.
Are you wielding it in 2 hands or 1 hand? Or long sword and shield?
Oh, I'll do the 2 hands. 1d10.
Okay. Make your attack. Are you attacking the one on Runa?
The one on Runa.
All right, so Selenia runs to Runa's aid, swinging her longsword with 2 hands, coming down in a big overhand strike as it sever the vine. What's your to hit?
18.
18 absolutely hits. Deal me some damage as the blade comes down and begins to sever into this vine. But already you guys can tell that this vine is not just a regular old jungle vine. It is thick. It's strong.
God. Which one do I roll again? It's been a while.
For your damage, it should be a D10. And those look
D10
like
too.
little UFO-looking things. At least that's what I call them.
Damage.
And then you're going to add your strength modifier to that attack as well, to the damage of it.
Oh, crap. Okay. 3. 5.
5 total damage on Runas?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to cast, for my bonus action, can I
Okay.
cast Searing Smite?
Ooh. All right. Let me see what this does. Unless you can read it to me. You got it real quick.
Then that creature with a melee weapon attack during the spell's Your weapon flares with hot intensity. Attack deals an extra 1d6 fire damage to the target and causes the target to catch on flame.
All right. So roll me a d6. Now, as long as you are concentrating on this spell for 10 rounds, you will automatically do this now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So roll me the d6 damage.
I thought it was the next one.
Yes, but just because you don't know, I will allow you to essentially retcon the bonus action to do it before the action, because you probably don't know, but you can take a bonus action before or after your action.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So just for this time, we'll say that you searing smited, then attacked, because that's how you want to do that. So roll your d6 fire damage for me, please.
1.
All right. Interestingly enough, you note that this has 0 effect. The fire doesn't even seem to take. Perhaps it could just be that the vines are so water-soaked, maybe? You're not sure what's going on. All right. Next up is the vines themselves. The vine on Morthos is actually going to let go of Morthos. And then you see more of its kind of viney self comes in, and it almost looks like this weird, strange snake that has this ability. And it begins to roll itself as much as possible on the vines nearby. And you begin to see those vines animate. And you begin to see the roots animate and begin to grab. And I need all of you guys to make a strength saving throw.
That's a 2.
That's
Okay.
a 20, dirty 20.
Unnatural 20?
And not a natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
Morthos?
10.
Selenia?
21.
Sin?
So,
You're really quiet. Is that a 17?
yeah, 17.
Okay. So Morthos, Runa, no, not Runa, Morthos, Ven, and Selenia, what'd you get?
21.
21. Morthos and Ven. Unfortunately, these animated roots wrap around you, and you are now considered restrained. So your speed is 0. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage. And you also have disadvantage on further dex saves. Now you can make a strength save on your turn or a strength check to try and burst out of the restraint. The other vine is simply just going to make another constrict attack on Runa. Runa, that's a 14. I don't think that hits you still. Nope, does not. So you are perfectly fine as you consistently just use your shield to kind of bash
them away.
the tendril of the vine kind of coming at you. Next up is Runa.
Okay. By the way, did you detract the D4 from their attacks?
Yes.
Okay, good. I think I'm just going to attack the vine that is always trying to grab onto me, and I'm going to use Chill Touch.
Ooh, okay. Make a ranged spell attack. As you guys watch, you've seen this happen 100 times before. Spectral hand kind of animates on the back of her symbol of the skeletal hand holding the scales, and it shoots out at the vine.
That's a 16 hit.
16 absolutely hits. Roll some damage as the vine grasps on, not letting go, and you begin to see black necrotic energy seep into the vine.
6 points of necrotic damage.
6 points of necrotic damage. All right, and back to the top of the round. Sin, you are currently standing next to Runa's vine. I can't hear you.
I'm going to continue and smack
There you
that
go.
one.
All right.
With a 16.
16. Okay, absolutely that hits with all the fury of your barbaric people having cut down wood for ships. This is nothing to you. Roll some damage.
That is a 16.
16 points of damage. Okay, these vines are still looking fairly decent, actually. They don't, they seem to be a big old bag of hit points. Then you are up.
I can resummon my sword with a bonus action.
Okay.
Can I do that while restrained?
Yeah, I don't see why not. The condition says
Okay.
that doesn't say anything about the fact that you have to.
Okay, then I'm gonna resummon my sword and try and do what Morthos did and just like summon it into stabbing it.
Okay, you will have, as strange as it is, you will have disadvantage on this.
But I have advantage, so it evens out.
Okay, yeah, so you've got an average.
13?
13 hits. So
That's-
more. Go ahead.
9 psychic damage.
9 psychic damage. Morthos, you watch the vine that lets you black blade embedded in it. You see the black blade just get shrouded in shadow and disappear. And then looking over, you see Ven now with that sword in her hand, and she seems to have seen what you did and stabs directly up into her vine. The vine holding her. Now that vine then actually lets go of you. So you end the restrained condition. All right, and Azaka is going to go now. She will make her 2 strikes at. She's going to actually run on Runas, and look at that! Wouldn't you know it? There is a 14 which hits and a natural 20 for Azaka. So she is going to come slicing into this vine for Runa. 9 for 19 points of damage on the one that is with the crit and everything added together. This vine is looking really, really rough. And that is Azaka's turn. Morthos, you are up, and I should let you know that you have advantage on thanks to Skirl.
So to break free from the restraint, is that going to be a free action or is it going to take an action?
It takes an action to make a strength check. But if you do the check, you will have advantage.
I am just going to Mind Spike the creature.
Okay.
So the creature needs to, first of all, make a Wisdom saving throw.
All right.
Minus 1d4.
Okay, well, rolled a 3 with its wisdom is +0, and minus the d4 because rolled a 3 on the d4, so got a 0 for his saving throw.
All right, so it will take 3d8 psychic damage, and I will always know the target's location as long as we're on the same plane of existence. And while I have this knowledge, the target cannot become hidden from you, and if it's invisible, it gains no benefits from that condition against you.
Damn. Now, I should ask, are you mind spiking one of the kind of bigger, seemingly more animated vines, or are you attacking the vine restraining you?
The vine restraining me.
Okay.
So that is 10 total psychic damage.
Okay. You guys all hear this kind of strange, almost echo through the kind of area you're in, and you actually watch as all those animated vines, apart from the 2 big ones, all those animated vines actually go still. Morthos, seemingly you sent out essentially a psychic pulse enough to ruin whatever concentration or, whatever was holding these things animate. So no longer do you have these all grasping vines and roots. You've just got two again. Well done, Morthos. Selenia, you're up. And the restrained condition is ended, by the way.
Okay. So there's 2 vines left. The
Yeah,
big one.
there's still 2 vines. One has like massive chunks cut out of it, and seems to be like leaking sap. The other is looking fairly hefty. The one leaking sap is on Runa.
I'm gonna attack that one again.
Okay.
See. I have 3.
3 plus your attack
Oh,
bonus.
forgot about that. That's 8.
8. Unfortunately, this vine seems to see your wide swing coming in, and it just kind of like amorphous plant snake, and then immediately comes back in to attack you and constrict you. And the other one will try and come back in and attack Morthos. Selenia, yours is a 17 to hit, which I believe hits you because you are not wearing your shield.
Yeah.
So you are grappled. And you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. Morthos, yours was a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. You take 10 points of damage.
I'm unconscious.
All right, so you guys watch as the vine just wraps around Morthos, and you hear a couple cracks as probably a few ribs are slightly crushed. And Morthos just kind of like swoons from the pain and then just falls over. And the vine kind of detracts from him and then kind of waves at you, ready for another go. Runa, you're up.
Is Morthos close to me? Close enough that I can just touch him, or are we further
You have
apart?
to move, but you won't prompt an opportunity attack because the vine is kind of back away and is distracted by Selenia.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to
could
move like 10
also-
feet. You can do it.
Oh, yeah, okay, then I'm going over there and kneel down next to him, clutch my holy symbol, and I cast Cure Wounds on Morthos, and because he's unconscious, a Circle of Mortality will come into play, and I will do max healing.
Okay.
And
Oh man,
I
that's
think-
just so juicy.
Yeah. I will give him 12 hit points back.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So as you kind of reach down and grab on, the holy light spreads around his body, and you hear a couple soft clicks as the ribs that were broken kind of snap back into place and heal instantly. Next up is Sin. You are up.
I would like to ask Corbin while I'm down there to take care of our friend Morthos, and if he's going to attack someone, he is supposed to distract that enemy, so he will get advantage.
Okay.
Sin's curious, are these vines being controlled by possibly a bigger object that we can't see?
Make a perception check.
That is a 4 or 5.
No idea. These vines just came out of nowhere attacking you, and what the hell's going on?
Darn it.
Speaking of that, when Morthos did Mind Spike on smaller vines, did that tell him anything?
No.
Okay.
All right. That didn't take an action for you to just
Yes.
kind of glance around.
Yes, okay, cool. Well, I noticed that Morthos goes down, so I rush to his vine and I start
Okay.
whacking him.
Okay. Thwack away, my friend. Thwack away.
That is a 17.
A 17 to hit. Absolutely hits.
And that is a 12 damage.
12 damage to Morthos' vine. All right. Next up is Ven.
How close am I to the Morthos' vine, the big one?
How close do you need to be is what I'll ask.
I mean, I would like to be as far away as possible, so like 20 feet.
Sure. Then you
Okay.
are 20 feet away.
Okay, then I'm gonna throw my sword again.
Okay. I totally actually imagine, and it's really funny, name is Hela, because I totally actually imagine this blade being like Hela's spikes from Thor Ragnarok.
I've seen the pictures. I got a 21.
21 absolutely hits. You are deadly with this thing.
And that's 7 psychic damage.
7 psychic damage. Okay, and that's on Morthos'.
Yes, I should say that at the end of my turn, the blade disappears.
Oh, okay.
And then on the beginning of my turn, I can resummon it with a bonus action.
Oh, okay. So it stabs in, and then in a puff of black smoke, it disappears. Azaka will go charging in on the second, and now attacking Selenia. However, she seems to have used up all her juice on that last nat 20, because the best she hits is a 10, and she misses. Morthos, you are up.
I'm going to curse at the vine that hit me with Hexblade Curse
Okay.
and stab it with the rapier
All right.
with a 21.
21 absolutely hits.
That is 13 total. Piercing.
All right. Both vines look equally as damaged at the moment. Next up is Selenia.
Okay. I'm grappled, right? So it broke my concentration.
Nope.
No?
Grapple does not break concentration.
Good to know.
However, to attack with your sword, you will have to break out of the restrained condition, which will take an action.
Well, I'm going to cast command on it.
Okay.
I gotta read it again.
I got it here. Speak one word. Okay, speak your one-word command.
Let go.
All right. Wisdom saving throw for the vine. Your spell save DC is still, where are you? Still 14, correct? Or did it go up?
Was that under?
That's on your spell page. So the last page
Oh.
of your character sheet. Right up at the top right.
Yeah, it's a 14.
To 14? Okay, it fails, so it actually does just... perfect. That did cost you... What was that, an action, I believe? Yeah, that does cost you an action. However,
can I
it
move
does
away from
break
it?
your concentration spell. And yes, you can move away.
Okay.
And it won't prompt an
So-
opportunity attack because you've commanded it to let go. Perfect.
I move like 20 feet from it.
Okay. The vines are going to go. However, they will have one of these vines will have disadvantage thanks to Exilium. So the disadvantage vine trying to Selenia. Selenia, your command seems to still have somewhat of an effect on it as it tries to come back into attack. And it kind of seems to like stop itself and think about what it's doing and then retracts, and its turn kind of gets wasted as it doesn't really attack you. The other vine, however, will attack with Bane rolls a 0, so will miss. Next up is Runa.
Okay, I think I'm just going to attack the one that was attacking Selenia and before that attacking me, and I'm going for another chill touch. And 21 should hit, right?
Absolutely, as the skeletal hand grasps onto the vine.
Yeah, 7 points of necrotic damage.
7 points of necrotic damage. Okay, these vines look like they're doing rough, but you guys have got to work a little harder. Sin, you're up.
I'm gonna keep thwacking.
Okay, whack away.
With a 1.
Oh, there it is.
Oh no.
So unfortunately, the you bring your axe to attack, and the vine actually manages to like wrap itself around the axe and just stops your swing dead, and then it unwraps itself. Next up is Ven.
Same as before, throwing my sword. See
Yeah.
it, summoning it, throwing it.
Yep. Are you attacking? We'll still call it Morthos's vine. Runa's vine.
Morthos is still. And that's a 14.
14 hits.
8 psychic damage.
8 psychic damage. Okay. Azaka is going to go seeking. She will attempt to strike Selenia's vine. Rolled another nat 20. And rolled a 19. Apparently, she is dead serious about this life debt she owes you. Okay. Ooh, crit damage is really, really nice. For 13 crit damage, and for non-crit damage, 17. The one she was attacking seems barely holding on, just a last little bit of the kind of outer skin of the vine holding itself together. Very, very critically injured. Morthos, you are up.
Alrighty. Gonna attack the same one again.
Okay.
And Corvin is making a ruckus, so he should have
Right.
advantage.
You do have advantage, thanks to Corbin aiding you, landing
My
on the
little
vine,
buddy.
pecking at it.
Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so that is 16 total.
16 total hits. This is with your summoned rapier, or
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and that is 14 total.
14 total points of damage. Wow. Both vines looking very critically injured at this point. Selenia, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna attack the vine closest to me again.
Okay.
Probably just gonna switch with the sword and shield this time.
Okay, so you take the minute to kind of get your shield back out using. I'll say that does use your bonus action to kind of quickly pull your shield out from behind your back, but you do still have an action.
Okay. 17.
17 absolutely hits as you bring your longsword up in an undercutting swipe up with one hand.
Okay. Damage. 7.
7 points of damage. Okay, you bring your blade up in this arc, and actually roll your d6 fire damage as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that. 2.
The blade cuts through the writhing, severing it in half, and this time your flame seems to catch, and it just erupts down the end of the vine, charring it and blackening it as it just turns to ash before you. The only vine left alive is going to try and come in and attack you, Selenia, kind of shrieking out towards you, almost in anger. Rolled a 16.
18.
But I am going to
Wow.
roll, because you do have your shield out, I'm going to roll Bane. So -1, 15 plus 6 is 21. So that will still hit you. And it comes out and bashes you for 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
All right, and Runa, you are up.
Okay, I'm going to attack the last vine, the one that's just attacked Selenia.
Sounds good.
16? Does that hit?
16
Yes.
hits.
4 points of necrotic damage with chill touch again.
4 points of necrotic damage. Okay, the hand seems to wriggle out and grasp onto the vine, and you see the necrotic energy pierce into this vine, except it goes further this time. It blackens the vine, and you seem to see this tropical vine rot right before your very eyes, and then the jungle goes silent. Well done. You are out of initiative.
Good job, everybody.
At this point, just because it came up right before the battle, and I didn't feel entirely appropriate during battle, but long time ago, we had a cheers. So everybody raise your glass to Exilium. All right, so you are standing in this clearing, having just fought, apparently, animated vines. So add that to the list of things trying to kill you in this jungle.
Sin loves this jungle.
I hate it.
Me too.
I can't write my notes half the time.
It's wet, it's hot, everything tries to kill us, there's one mystery stacked up another, and my best friend just got captured by weird poisonous frog people.
All right, Azaka very quickly seems to pick up the tracks and continues on. You guys continue for a full day's travel. When in the light of, dusk, you seem to see the small light of perhaps a torch ahead in the jungle.
I ready my mace and shield.
Okay.
There's something new that's going to try to kill us, I bet.
Everything tries to
Morthos
kill
goes
us.
ahead and draws his rapier.
Okay. And are you guys just kind of slowly, cautiously working towards?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I could send Corvin ahead to scout if you want, guys.
It's probably a good idea.
Okay. Then I grab hold of whoever stands beside me so I don't fall over when I use Corvin's eyes and fly ahead.
Okay. All of a sudden, you see Runa's eyes just white, and you see Corvin's eyes do the same, and then he just kind of, with a just kind of flies off, and through his eyes, Runa, you see he kind of alights himself up on a branch, and he kind of looks down, and you can see a thin elfin figure wearing what appears to just be leather armor, bow slung across her back, scimitar at her side. She seems to be cooking a meager meal over a fire. You can see that she's definitely seen some combat, maybe recently. Not recent as in like an hour ago, like in the last couple of days. Has some pretty hefty scarring. Her armor's looking pretty beat up. And she's completely all alone, no tent, nothing.
Okay. So she seems a little bit as if she's stranded here in the jungle?
Perhaps, yep.
Okay. I will fly back then and switch side.
Okay.
I can watch through my own eyes
Corbin
again.
flies back and he lands on your shoulder, and kind of hops from one shoulder to the other, gives you a little light nip on the ear, and then goes and flies and sits on Morthos' shoulder.
Okay. I pet him before he flies off. And then I say, there is a little camp up ahead. An elven or half-elven woman who looks pretty beat up. She doesn't have a tent or anything, so maybe she's stranded here. It did look very rough around the edges. But she did not look too dangerous, so maybe we could camp with her.
It's better that she wouldn't be alone, so...
This jungle is horrible. We should probably, help.
And the last time we got help from Ardos, right? The one with the ice ring?
Yep, Ardos.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, someone helped us, so maybe we can give something back by helping her. She looked not so good.
Yeah, just simple act of passing it on.
All right.
Exactly.
So you guys just approach. Do you say anything?
I call out. I call out if you're a few feet away, and I'm holding up my hands in a non-threatening manner. And it's like, hey there, greetings. Don't be afraid.
Draw my sword immediately as a millisecond passes. I just draw my sword and just have a stance to be ready to defend.
Okay, yeah. You guys see this this kind of her blonde, disheveled hair, kind of all over the place like everybody's hair, and she just kind of stands up, draws her scimitar, and just looks around with these wild, wild eyes.
Almost
Calm
shivering,
yourself.
Like my sword is almost shivering in my hand.
Okay, don't be afraid. We come in peace.
I'm in the back of the group, kind of like hiding behind someone, just peeking my head out.
Okay.
Sin says hi. I'm Sin. Can I give you a hug?
I just look at him strangely.
We're no threat. I just want a hug.
We are very travelers, just like yourself, battling our way through this abysmal jungle.
Before she starts her sentence, I try to hide myself behind the tree, still shivering.
Okay. Make a stealth check then, if you wouldn't mind, Ambrosia.
Oh my god. All right. 5.
Okay, you guys very clearly watch. This person just runs behind a tree and seems to hide there, thinking that you can't see her, but you very clearly watched her just run behind a tree.
Ven loudly whispers, "Psst, we can still see you."
I move one step behind.
Sin runs over.
It's like the
tree
kid
and
trying to
waves.
pretend
Hi, we
that
still see
just
you.
can't. So like you can completely see. I mean, and there is genuine fear in her eyes. There is genuine. She sees you as the ultimate threat at the moment.
Sin, leave the poor girl alone.
Yes, you big brute.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be friendly.
Over friendly.
Do you see how many people we actually see in this jungle? I want more friends.
Yes, so don't scare her away.
As you guys are kind of talking and you kind of raise your voice, Sin being the closest, you can again see that this blade, this scimitar held in the shaking hands of this elfin girl is just all over the place, and you're not even sure if she'd be able
to even know how to use that.
Yeah.
Sin, come over here. Let's give her some space. I've seen this sort of look before in some sailors that came back from sea.
Ugh.
Let's give her some space.
Just know I will give you a hug eventually.
All
Not
right.
without consent.
Ambrosia, this strange group of people step back. They kind of seem to give you your space. What would you
I
like?
slowly take a one step towards them, but so slow that I've been like locking eyes with them.
Okay.
So still trying to hold my sword and gripping it more and more as I take a step.
All right. So you guys see that this does seem to work. This kind of very scared elfin girl kind of steps out, and she is definitely giving you guys the eye that the moment something surprising or anything happens, she's gonna be gone.
I keep my hands well in sight, so she sees that I'm not holding any weapons or anything. And I use the same voice that I used with all those victims after Golden Fields were overrun by giants. And I'm talking very softly and calmly to her. Said, "It's all right. We are not a threat to you. You are safe with us. We don't mean any harm to you, and if you want, we will leave. But I can help you. We are here on a holy mission. I'm a servant of Calimbor. Yeah, I am.
I'm here for hugs.
Currently, we're on our way to Camp Vengeance.
Yes.
As he says, I'm here for hugs, I just point out the whole surrounding, my tattered like bruises and stuff, and still holding my sword. Hugs?
Hugs.
This place?
Have you seen this place? This place is treacherous. It's negative. It's terrible. I've got to give some sort of positivity.
I just roll my eyes. I can't believe that this is actually happening to me.
Where I come from, we don't try and fight. I mean, we will if we have to, but we try and stay humble.
Interestingly enough, you guys do note that perhaps she may have seen or may have run into your friend.
Did the tracks lead here?
They led kind of through here. You can even see very very and actually you may not be able to see them for much longer as a heavy rain begins to pour down. You can see that the tracks came through and moved beyond this little campsite.
Have you seen the dwarf?
Not really. Haven't seen anyone in days.
No. And Ambrosia, you only just made camp like an hour ago in answer to Selenia's question.
With that whistle I have, how long did they stay out again?
They stay out essentially for, I believe it's a minute or
until they die.
Or until they die.
Can I see if I can use them as bloodhounds?
If you'd like, are you blowing the whistle?
I'm about to.
Okay.
Then, grabs his whistle and he blows and he says, "I've got an idea. I will find my friend."
Our friend.
So you blow your whistle, roll a d4.
Alright. That is a 3.
Alright. You watch as, again, this kind of greenish light surrounds the whistle as he blows it, and 3 kind of balls of green spectral energy kind of come out of this whistle and land onto the ground, and then they coalesce into these spectral raptors that have kind of feathers on them in a few spots and this long back talon, and they kind of turn and look at you, Sin, and they're kind of like...
I kind of jump a few steps behind again.
Okay.
This is blue. This is A. And that's kind of thing. Well, I kind of point them to his tracks, drag marks, any identification of where he could have possibly been taken, and I kind of like put it in their nostrils and I say, sniff, sniff.
Blue kind of steps forward and he kind of snaps at it a little bit and he kind of and then he just kind of looks at you like, what do you want me to do, man?
Well, I was hoping maybe you could smell if he had some sort of like cuts on him from this, because he doesn't seem like the type of guy that goes, yeah, just take me. Probably would get in a fight for this, so I figured maybe he'd somehow be bloody. Maybe you can smell it.
Make an insight check.
Okay. That is a 16.
You get the impression. I mean, you've been around a few predatory animals. Some of the people of your tribe had tamed wolves and stuff like that, and you kind of know a little bit of how to read an animal and how to kind of tell what it's kind of feeling. And you get the sensation that they are not picking up blood.
Oh well, I tried. I pet Blue, X and A.
They all just kind of curl under and kind of give this like noise that they. Yeah. So what do the rest of you do while you're back at camp, kind of setting up the tent and?
Exactly, setting up the tent. Then, if Morthos still looks hurt, because I only healed 12 hit points, and I guess he has more than that, I would heal him all the way to full hit points.
Morthos would
If
kindly turn down the offer. Thanks
Okay.
to Hexblade Curse, I regenerated a little bit when a creature dies.
I see. Okay.
Sin just abundantly walks over to Morthos and picks him up and hugs him and says, I'm so glad you're not knocked out anymore.
Don't crack my ribs again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just kind of... but you can't flop.
I'm guessing the fire is below the tree. Like it's covered.
Selenia and Ven come back into camp, and they kind of throw more wood on and baby it. Eventually, you guys do have a fire. It is still pretty miserable because it's raining.
Let's spice it up a little bit. I cast Crit Bonfire on top of it.
Okay, you cast Create Bonfire on top. The flame kind of flames even more, and actually does seem to, for a moment, give you a brief respite against the wet.
Nice. I have summoned food and water for all of us. And if we sit down to eat, I would like to sit next to Sin and say, by the way, thanks for helping me in the fight.
No problem. Anytime.
And also, I'm very glad that you seem just as eager as I am to get our friend Mr. Teabag.
Of course, I miss my little buddy. Our little buddy.
Me too.
I'm helping also around the fire and whatever like little things that I can do until we settle in. But like the littlest thing, because my hands are still shaking.
Right. Okay. Unless any of you wish to have a conversation, the night will pass.
I would like to ask her, by the way, I am Runa. What's your name?
Yes.
Over the fire. I am asking you, yes? I know the names of the others.
I don't know that.
I'm saying that to you.
I'm still saying I don't know that you know other names. The fire, I just tried to like see. I'm Ambrosia.
Nice to meet you. You know why we are here? You know why we are here in the jungle? Why are you here?
I was in a scouting party, and then I wasn't. That's the whole story.
A scouting party for whom?
If I can tell you, I would probably need to kill you.
You might try.
Yes, you could try.
Sin kind of pokes his head right around Runa and says, "What?"
What do you mean?
I
what?
see.
Well, to break this merry mood, I'll introduce myself. My name is Morthos.
Hi.
And we all know I'm Sin.
I pat you on the back. You're sitting still beside me, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So what did you see on your scouting mission aside of being attacked by Grung or whatever?
We were just trying to see something, and it was silent for so long, and then everything went black for all of us. And when I woke up, that just happened, and I don't know how I got out alive at all.
Maybe the gods
That is-
smiled upon you.
Maybe I should start believing in them, right?
Maybe.
Do you not believe in a higher power?
I should start, right? It seems like someone has a high plan for me, right?
Well, let me look in my backpack. I might have a pamphlet for Thanos.
It's Talos, not Thanos.
Sorry. Talos.
Thanos is the big purple guy that's going to be
Yeah.
Marvel
I
movie.
meant Talos. Sorry. My mind was totally somewhere else. Okay, I might have a pamphlet on Talos.
I do like the image of Sin pulling out a. Can I show you this comic book? It's about this crazy cosmic destructor.
My lord and savior. He's been there since I was a little kid. He may have granted me powers. He might be the one for you.
I just take it, try to read it. What's on?
It's totally not in a language you can understand.
Yeah, one, it doesn't seem to be in a language you can. Two, seems to be more pictures than words, and mostly depicts.
It's a comic, basically.
Basically, and seem to depict very bulky looking men, very fashionable, awesome, strong men that bear a childlike resemblance to Sin.
I was a cute child.
With lightning crashing all around in the back, and yeah, it's a strange piece of paper you've just invented.
It's the rough draft. It's my creation, and I'm not. I figured, I'm the only one, in this world or in this region that believes in this guy. I figured, I'd spread the word of my Lord and Savior.
He's promoting a religion in its own way.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows it where I come from, but no one knows it here. So,
Ambrosia, looking around, you get the sense from the rest of the party, into Liger dog that has to say hi to visitors and run around before they kind of get used to them.
Try to I'm completely baffled by this. I need to know more. So that was a religious flyer just to spread the message, and I feel like he's the only one, but I still want more information. Can you tell me more about it?
well, as you see instructed on the pamphlet, I cannot explain in words of exactly how Talos is. He is a destruction of thunder. You worship him in times of destruction, and you wish that he does not rain destruction on others. And in storm times, he helps me guide the way if there's danger senses. So he is just a lord of destruction, and if you're all about that life,
I just folded and put it in my pocket, and I'm like, if I ever get to civilization and survive this mess, I maybe even check it out.
why, thank you. I have yet to build, what do they call it here? A church for holy symbols? I'll just say church right now. But when I get back, I thought about constructing one, so maybe we can go in.
So you don't even have a temple?
Not here, not here. Again, I'm not from this region.
Oh, right.
But when we get past this journey, I'm going to solely devote my life to this.
That is interesting. Does anyone else have a religion that can be suggested to me so I can be
I
a
do.
holy person?
I am, in fact, a
Really?
cleric and not a wannabe priest of some god that no one ever heard of here.
Shots fired.
Oh,
Can I insight check her?
insight checker? Absolutely.
I'm in full regalia, by the way. I have an amulet with a holy symbol on my neck, and I have this shield that's emblazoned with Kalimdor symbol.
That doesn't it doesn't add up. I just think the moment you said something, I just thought that you were like the same as the other person that talks to me about the fake religion, but I just want to insight check. Natural 16 plus
I'm
intelligence.
dead serious.
Plus wisdom, actually.
Oh, 18 then.
She is indeed dead serious. But interestingly enough, with your insight check, you get the sense that her religion, like it's it's like looking at a priest in full garb, priest shirt. And so it's very clearly you're like, oh, this one's the really religious one. That guy. I don't know what. Okay, she seems to know.
Morthos would like hold up the back of the front of his hand and say, "This is where my faith goes to," showing his tattoo.
You can see. Describe your tattoo for others again.
It's a raven skull in the center with the black feathers surrounding it.
Now, interestingly enough, as you kind of pull your hand back from showing her, you notice that one little tiny vein on the back of your hand is pitch black. Yes, you've all seen this vein on the back of Morthos' hand. Runa, especially you, this is a bit disturbing to you.
Is the
Runa?
bruise darker?
The
Yeah,
bruise
yes, I'm
has
sorry.
gone away.
And now it's black.
Seemingly been replaced by this blackened vein.
Huh. Does it hurt? I'm holding your arm. Pull it closer to my face to get a real good look at your veins.
I poke it.
You poke it.
We both like.
It's a weird sensation. It doesn't hurt, but does, like, you can feel a distinct difference. It's almost like that vein in particular is squishier, if that makes any sense.
But it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. This is extremely unsettling.
If I cast Detect Magic on his tattoo, which I've done once before, does it look any different now?
Roll an Arcana check.
All right.
I see them over there poking at him and inspecting his
16.
arm. And I kind of go over and maybe like sniff at his vein, see if I can tell anything.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. I have 16 in Arcana.
All right.
Why are you sniffing his hand?
You get this strange, and both of you get this kind of sense in your own way of sensing it. You get this strange sense of fell magic, like dark shadow, touched by darkness, essentially, kind of touched by blackness.
Is there any way to get rid of that? Lesser restoration?
You know that restoration sometimes, depending on the level of it, yeah. I mean, if a lesser doesn't work, greater usually gets rid of quite a bit of shit. Ben, you haven't seen this ever before.
Okay. Can we assume or infer that this is from him going unconscious?
You're not sure. Make a actually. I'll get you to roll an insight check.
Can I also check as well because I think it's really weird.
Sure.
Me too. Because
You
she's
just call it
still doesn't know.
gameplay.
I got a 5, so I don't know shit.
Let's insight check.
13.
13.
My insight
16.
is 22.
Okay. Ambrosia, it doesn't seem to be anything that's going to cause you harm, although still scary. But it, like nothing to worry about, but they're kind of worried about it. Problem. I just met these people, but they seem to think that something is really, really wrong. Selenia, it's just weird. I mean, you hadn't really ever been pulled over before. You generally never encountered anything like this in El Toro. Now, Runa, you get this strange sense that it doesn't have anything to do with him going unconscious. Rather, it has something to do with who or what put that tattoo on his hand.
And I know that the tattoo is connected to the Raven Queen, right?
Yes.
So, but this feels bad, right? So, and the Raven Queen is not an evil goddess. So much I know.
Not necessarily feels bad, but feels like fell magic, which is more darker magic. Not necessarily evil, just darker.
There's some form of foul, dark magic influencing your arm.
Should we cut it off? I got it. I got my sword like ready.
No. I'd rather it not be chopped off.
I would like to cast Lesser Restoration on his arm because it's the only restoration spell that I can successfully cast at the moment.
The restoration issues forth into your arm, Morthos, and you see the vein disappear.
Hey!
Well, that was easy.
Praise Kalimdor!
Praise Calamar!
Praise Cannonball!
If it happens again, let me know. By the way, I lean over to Ambrosia and say, "That's what real priests can do." And I wink at her.
Wait, Dutch Reddish, did you say that the entire vein disappeared or just the blackness?
Just the black.
Right?
Okay, because I thought I heard the former.
Oh, okay.
You did your vein, but I just meant the entire blackened vein kind of issued back into your skin.
And what about that bruise that was underneath the feather? that
bruise is
that
gone.
demon face. The bruise is okay. So how does it feel now? Better?
I poke
It looks better.
There actually does appear to be some soreness now, Morthos.
Okay, well now it hurts.
Runa, what did you do?
It's just a delayed reaction.
Well, let's hope so.
If I look at it and examine his arm with medicine, is there anything still wrong with it?
No.
No?
You can roll it, but
Okay. Looks fine to me. Maybe that's the absence of the foul magic. After effect.
I just had a thought. Could we have Corvin ask the Raven Queen again about what's going on?
Okay. I call Corbin over. I think he sat on a tree or something close by watching us.
Sure.
And take him on my hand and do you know anything about this, my dear?
He just kind of looks at you.
Does your mistress has anything to do?
And just like claws the front of his kind of spectral feathers.
Hmm.
And then he kind of flies over to Morthos' shoulder. He kind of hop skips down to Morthos' hand. Unless you have your arm down, Morthos. If you let him kind of walk out on his arm.
For him.
Okay.
I imagine that I'm still holding his hand because I've been casting all those spells on him.
Morthos, the raven kind of works his way down. And then he pecks you. And he pecks you hard. Right on the tattoo. Enough to break skin. And you watch as you kind of, ow! And you kind of pull your hand back. And he kind of flies off. And then you kind of shake your hand out. And you're like, damn, bird. And then you look. And it appears that your blood has dripped in an exact trail along that vein, instantly dried, and the blackness is now back.
Is it supposed to be like that, maybe?
I have a lot of experience with blood. It does not normally do that.
I mean, maybe he should have that that black vein. Is that something that belongs to your form of magic? I mean,
What did you do to get a curse like that?
I summon my rapier again, and I do so while watching my tattoo.
Okay. You summon your rapier in your hand, kind of staring intently at the back of your hand, waiting for something, waiting for anything. Damn it! Nothing happened.
I hate Schalt. I bet if we were in Waterdeep, this would not happen. I'm so sure.
Sure, Grand Archmage Arcane Kashan could probably help out with this as well.
Do you ever pray before you sleep?
I tried to get him to pray with me.
Yes, but praying to the wrong god.
Maybe you should pray to the Raven Queen.
How does one pray? I've never done so before in my life.
Sin walks up. I can answer that. I put some stones and my drum, and I start banging it, and I go, "This is how you pray." Okay,
so in the dark of night, you guys immediately begin hearing this kind of and he begins singing his like weird throat singing, and so it's like it's like a
It's
weird
like Skrillex.
fantasy dubstep.
Oh no. I
I
wince and I say, prayer can take many forms and shapes.
Are you guys just gonna let him bang away on his drum?
No, I'm gonna try and stop him.
Yeah, I tried to stop him.
Please, we're in the middle of the jungle.
Sin, do you acquiesce?
I say, I guess they'll go back to coloring.
And kind of like a pouty child, Sin puts away his drums and rocks, pulls a piece of charcoal out of the fire, not noticing that it just slightly singes his hand, like when he grabs, kind of, but he doesn't notice, and just begins drawing with his charcoal crayon.
And I look at Runa when she said, a real priestess. I kind of look at her, and I'm just like, I am a real priest.
Oh man. So, anybody want to do anything else for the
A little
evening?
bit bad now.
I'll do first watch.
I'll do last watch, and I'll write my letter during my last watch.
I
short-
hand you another piece of paper.
I'll take a short rest and then be up all night.
As a cleric and anthropologist, do I know any prayers to the Raven Queen? I mean, she's another goddess of death, so maybe I know some of her liturgy.
Roll a religion check.
Okay. That's, oh, wait a second, 17. Not bad.
17.
Mhm.
It's a bit different because, I mean, and in your study, clergy and everything else like that, you read about deities that have fallen out of favor. You've read about mortals that have ascended. You've read about all sorts of different gods, quote unquote gods. And you also remember reading about how there can be a difference between praying to a god specifically versus talking to a being that you gain power from.
Okay.
And you know this, and you know that, I mean, I'm pretty sure Morthos has told Runa by now that he is a warlock, or at least you would be able to figure out from his kind of repertoire of spells. With the Raven Queen specifically, it usually involves blood and or near-death experiences that
Okay.
allow you to communicate with the Raven Queen. Because she resides in that kind of...
That moment, right?
that
Kind of
moment.
precipice.
Yeah, that specific moment when life passes to death. That is where the Raven Queen is.
So
Have I
there,
told any of this?
I'm telling you
Okay.
while I reminiscent.
Probably Runa's thinking and probably just speaking out loud. Honestly, she's probably
Mm.
not even really saying it to anyone. She's more speaking to herself, but saying
What
all
to
of it.
Corbin.
It can't be that, but and then he'd have to. And then there's this, and just all of that kind of.
Well, I like the idea of blood more than I like being near death.
I'm not a fan of that either.
I'm just
Generally-
staying by the
I mean,
side.
how did you form the pact? Maybe that would help us out to know if this is normal, if it's something that would happen continuously as you follow the path you've chosen.
I didn't choose it.
It was
That's-
put upon you.
It was. It's what me and Archmage Arcane Kashan have discussed many times, that this is some sort of inheritance that I have received.
And are you opposed of following that inheritance?
It hasn't let me down so far, so
Okay.
I don't see why not.
I see. If it's an inheritance, it means that your parents or grandparents or also followed that path.
If they did, I would have known about it.
Okay.
You just go to bed at this point.
I think
Yeah.
Morthos would do something drastic, and he would ask to borrow a dagger real quick.
I can hand him one.
Okay.
Okay.
I take it, and I slice open my hand and allow the blood to drip around a circle around me, and I sit down in the middle of this circle and wait.
And that's it.
Yep.
The rest of you, do you just end up going to bed?
I watch him for a while. And now and then I try to say something helpful, like, you have to really concentrate and breathe deep. Focus on what you want to bring across.
I'll wait till everyone falls asleep, and then I'm gonna do something.
By the way, who's taking first watch?
I am.
All right, then.
And I'm taking last watch, so if we want to just do 2 watches, or if somebody wants to get the middle watch, it's...
I'll take the middle
Ambrosia.
watch.
Ambrosia offers.
Oh, and I do, of course, my evening prayers and preparing my spells for the next day.
Right.
Okay. So when everyone goes to sleep, I'm gonna cast Detect Good and Evil.
Okay. Detect good and evil.
Yeah.
Okay. And what exactly are you just letting it go out there? You're just gonna kind of put your feelers out there, or what?
What she's gonna do is she's gonna go at the edge of the camp, hold her holy symbol, and pray to like inside, and then cast it, and then look around out beyond the camp, and then look at everyone individually in the camp.
Okay. So for the duration of Detect Evil and Good, you aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you. Looking around, you see none of that.
Mm-hmm.
Not Azaka, not your new friend Ambrosia. None of them seem to have this on them. The ground does not seem either hollowed or cursed. You even look like you even kind of move close and look specifically at Morthos' hand, who he is now asleep, still having fallen asleep, waiting for something to happen in that circle. The rain has let up to a point of it being a light mist, so you're not too concerned about him getting too water soaked. But even looking at his hand, no, there's nothing, which is kind of a comfort.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I would actually see is Corvin, right?
Yes, because he registers as Fae. So yeah.
Celestial.
Oh, Celestial.
He's a
So yeah,
celestial
you'd see Corbin for sure. He'd light up, but you're like, oh yeah, that's just it.
Okay. All right, and then I was just do the rest of my watch.
All right. The night will pass uneventfully. However, Morthos, you sat waiting in this circle, and it had taken you a while, and you were getting really impatient, and you kind of got really frustrated, and you, without even knowing, had just kind of fallen asleep. Sleep had taken you. You find yourself in a dream. Black Icarus liquid pours down this kind of walled pathway and forms this kind of Icarus liquid all along the walkway that you see ahead of you. It is just this consistently moving black amorphous passage.
I guess in the dream, Morthos would walk down the passage.
Okay. Walk down the passage and you hear this kind of comes sighing down the passage.
Morthos calls out, "Hello? Is anyone there?"
What troubles you?
I'm concerned about what's on my hand. never acted this way before. Are you the Raven Queen?
Would it frighten you? Said yes.
It'd be nice to have a confirmation, so I'll probably be more at ease. As he looks around.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for this? As Morthos tries to point towards his tattoo.
You begin to notice a small pinpoint light coming towards you. And he says, and she says, yeah.
I walk slowly towards the pinpoint light.
The pinpoint light comes closer to you, and you see that it is just what seems to be a blackened rock, essentially, with a pale white raven skull, quite large raven skull.
So it's like an obelisk?
Kind of,
Sort of
yeah.
thing? Okay. Morthos will go and put his hand on it.
It feels warm.
Raven Queen, is there a reason for all this? Like, why do I have this? Like, can you explain it to me?
You are a part of the picture that you weave. All of your strands of fate are being wound together. That is a reminder of who wields the needle.
Needle?
To weave the threads of fate together. Find destiny. Sure, either their fruition or their end.
So am I some sort of champion for you then?
You just hear this. We shall see. And the dream fades. You wake up to the rest of you as well, wake up to a rather warm day. It's quite nice, actually. Seems to not be very many clouds in the sky, but I mean, um, a light mist does kind of pervade the jungle. Everybody's watch went fine. Nothing seemed to happen overnight. Even Ambrosia seems to have gotten some degree of sleep. Azaka is up at the crack of dawn, lighting fire, getting stuff ready for the day. Everything seems perfectly fine. Morthos is still in his weird little blood circle, but, he kind of gets up and out of that like nothing really happened. I mean, I don't know. Morthos, what do you look like this morning?
Haggard. Is this book okay, by the way?
You seem to have purchased a book that has been treated for this kind of weather. So while you may not be able to write in the rain and everything else, because that would just be silly, it seems like the humidity and everything else is not quite getting to it. They must have done something in the curing process of this parchment that is now bound into this book that has kept it okay.
guess while fresh in his memory, he would write down the experiences of his dream in it, since it's not raining right now.
No, it is not.
Okay, cool. He does that.
When I come out of the tent, I look how he's doing, and when I see him write, I'm reassured that he can't be too bad off.
So, where are you guys off to? Civilization?
Sort of.
Okay.
Well, we were going towards civilization. Not so much anymore.
Our plan was to move towards Camp Vengeance, restock, and then either go to another location in the jungle or back to Port Nir and Zaru.
But now we are tracking the Grungs who took our
Yes.
friend.
So,
Speaking
not
of that,
really.
Azaka looks around and she says, I do not see any tracks. Do you?
What do we have to roll in order to find out if we are
If
seeing
anybody wants
tracks?
to track, roll a survival check. And basically, just so we don't have everybody tracking, if one of you wants to help another one, you can essentially take the aid action, granting that person advantage on survival.
I'll assist someone.
I would like to search for my friend. So,
Okay. So you will have aid from Ven. Roll a survival check.
and I'm going to give myself guidance. And I say to Kalimwar, I know that Mr. T does not worship you as he should. He is a follower of Ilmater, but please help me find my friend. And I roll a natural 19, +2 from the guidance, and +4 for survival, so 25.
Okay. You find, pulling aside leaves and finding these spots but you do find to be the same kind of frog-like humanoid tracks and seem to still be indicative that they were carrying a certain degree of weight with them.
I think I found the track. I yell over my shoulder.
Okay, you guys all come, and honestly, you don't know what she's seeing.
I'm pointing them out. Do
I
you
mean,
see the frog?
and then she kind of, and you're like, whoa, how the hell did you see that? Like, what the? And like, it's like, you got to get down and like, oh, there it is. Holy man. And you guys very quickly travel on. And about an hour later, you come across what seems to be a kind of a cut-away natural path in the jungle. And pinned almost as like a sign to the path is this person, this human. He's pinned up in kind of almost a crucifix-like way, and just has probably 25 spears stuck in him with these kind of colorful tassels coming off.
Do I recognize him?
Ambrosia, you don't recognize him as one of your party. This body has been here for quite a while. So much so that most of his body is being reclaimed by the tree. Azaka comes up and she says, Grung work.
I look really enraged by the desecration of the dead.
I quickly mutter and snap my fingers and mage armor up again with extended.
Okay.
Let's take him down, or her. The body.
It's a him.
That's gonna make a lot of noise.
I don't care. If they come, I will give them a piece of my mind.
Okay, so you guys take some time. It's not too bad on the noise side. but you do take the body down. He seems to be wearing very, very simple leather armor. Maybe might have had a sword belt at one point, maybe a coin purse at one point. He does have one pocket on the front of his shirt and then two pockets on the back of his breeches.
I'm keeping an eye out if anything happens.
Okay.
If anything moves around.
Is there something in there, like a letter or something, to help him identify, or something that we can bring to? I don't know. Might he be someone that belongs to the Torm?
While you're kind of prepping the body and everything else. And you do find a letter. It's waterlogged, and you have to be very careful when you're kind of opening it up. But you kind of lay it out, and you read, "My darling Lydia, I have spent months trying to explain why I left. I knew your father would never let me marry me, a commoner who grew up living life on the streets, and you, a noble daughter of a lord of Waterdeep. I have traveled to far-off Chult and joined with the company of the Yellow Banner. I travel with a number of other individuals, but most importantly, our guide, Rue. She has a knowledge of this place that is astounding. Last night, she finally told me what the company is seeking here. Apparently, it is something called the Eye of Zaltek, a fist-sized ruby with a dagger-like point that Rue tells me once sat on top of a great pyramid in Nexal, which was the capital city of some far-off empire in a land called Maztica. Rue told me that it lies deep within the jungle in some forgotten city. I'll bring my share of what we make back to you, my love, to give to your father, so that we can settle in the Desarin Valley and live a peaceful life, like we always spoke about. Your love, Roland West."
I will take that letter and vow to myself that if I should survive this jungle, I will find his beloved and give her the letter and make sure that she knows that we bedded him to rest as it is proper. And I'm going to bury him with all the rites that are his due.
Okay.
Did you read the letter aloud?
Yes, I did.
You also find, searching his other pocket, you find a small vial of red liquid. And you recognize this red liquid. It is a healing potion, and you can thank Skirl in the chat for your party potion.
Thank you. I look at that vial and I say, oh, the irony. Because he's dead and he has a healing potion on him.
He could have used that.
Yeah.
We get it.
I will do the prayers to usher his soul, and then I remember that the death curse is an effect, and I look highly frustrated because I know that his soul has not passed on, but has been sucked into the soulmonger, whatever devilry that is, and with a grim expression, I bury him. And you can see by the way she is digging that grave and laying him to rest, she has done this very often. This looks very practiced.
How many bodies have you
I am a priest of Kalimdor, and I was there in the aftermath when the giants were scouring the countryside around Waterdeep. I buried many.
Oh.
But I also helped bringing children to light and healed the sick, so they lived several years and fulfilled their destinies and fate. So death is just a part of life. it's nothing to be feared. In our Lord Calamor's name, death is not the evil that it was when Merkul and Yagal were ruling.
All right, so
Take
you move beyond the grave of a long-lost, forgotten dead man, realizing with this that you may not be the only people that have ever tried to venture into this jungle, and clearly others have not been so lucky as you so far. You pass on for another couple of days, and you come into an area of not days, hours. You come into an area where you can see there are absolutely no trees. All you can see in place of trees is a 20-foot high wall of thorn-covered vines that seem to always be moving and twisting tighter and tighter in on themselves. As you watch, a single undead humanoid comes out of the jungle 50 feet to your right. It doesn't seem to notice you. It seems to mindlessly wander, kind of, and it just wanders right up to the wall and then impales itself on the thorns of this viney wall and then can't get off. And so all of a sudden, the vines essentially kind of slowly meat grind, kind of turning in on themselves. They kind of slowly meat grind this zombie to death. You can see ahead of you, a gap in the wall here that seems to lead further in, and beyond that, you can see just the top of what appears to be some sort of mud-formed edifice or structure ahead of you.
Is this me or is this place getting weirder? Did you see that?
Can we not go there?
No.
Do
we
the
need to
tracks
go
lead
there.
there?
Yeah, they lead directly into that.
Is
Into the
it
lion's
like
den.
a complete wall?
You
was
looking
right
left and
now.
right, you can see that there seems to be only one entrance to this strange thing, and you can see that it seems to be rounded, almost circular. Like this exterior wall seems to be a circular wall guarding something.
Runa, can you use Corvin to see what's over
Of course.
the wall?
Yeah. I'll grab hold of you to steady myself, and then I use Corvin's eyes and a light into the air and get a good swoop around to see if I guess it's some kind of palisade, right? Like a wall around an encampment or something.
Your view looks like that.
So it's not just one wall, it's more like a labyrinth or something?
Yes, it is essentially a maze of thorns surrounding a kind of pond with this strange stone edifice in the center of it, and the stone edifice, as Corvin kind of wings around it, it looks like that.
House. Okay. Can I
And
see
Corvin can see all sorts of creatures milling about in that interior pond-like way. He can see all sorts of these strange frog-like humanoids that they're all different colors. They are greens, blues, purples. There's some really small ones that are like these kind of this light green gray. You can see around the actual building itself is my camera's just coming back. Hopefully it will in a second. But you can see these kind of green gray. My Discord crashed. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Mhm.
And we can see you.
Good. My computer paused for a second. Okay, you can see these smaller, kind of gray-green, and then around the shrine, you can see orange-skinned frog people.
Okay. I'm telling them that because I can speak even though I can't hear or see with my
Right.
own eyes. And I'm telling them that this is not a wall, but in fact some form of labyrinth barrier between the city and the jungle, and that there are grung in different colors, and then about that structure. Do I see any other humanoids than grung? Do I see, I don't know, human prisoners, dwarven prisoners?
You do not actually
I do.
know. Now, I should note that in that kind of circular area, they do have domiciles. They have homes. They're these like mud huts that sit on stilts. No, you haven't seen any sign of any prisoners or anything else like that. They just seem to be a peaceful community for the most part.
And the tracks that we were following, those deep tracks of someone carrying maybe a dwarf, they lead to this place, right?
Absolutely.
Can we possibly walk around and see if they go past this place? Or do they lead right into the entrance?
They lead right into the entrance.
Runa, are you back in your own body now?
Yes, I'm coming back.
You said there were small ones and large ones and all sorts.
Yeah. It looked like a settlement because I think maybe those little green small ones, maybe those are the babies or something.
I
have
don't
no
really feel
idea,
like
but they look
killing
small.
children, so...
Me neither. Can any one of you do any magic that would help you understand those grung? I mean, I studied cultures, but I'm not familiar with the language they speak, and it would take me at least one day of studying them in order to be able to at least communicate in any formal way with them.
I do have a spell, but it would only last for about an hour, and I could probably only do that twice. So
Okay.
we would be on a time limit if I were to cast a spell.
But we might be able to parley with them.
Let's hope.
Maybe we can change if they really have our friend. Maybe we can give them something so they will return him to us.
All right.
Zaka-
So, are you guys approaching the entrance, or are you asking Zaka anything?
Yes, what is her take on the grung? And if I tell her about this encampment or this village or settlement, does she know anything about it? And
I do not know, but I will follow you wherever you wish to go. Be on your guard. Grung are deceitful creatures.
do you speak grung?
Do I look like I speak Grung?
No. But one never can tell from looking at someone what kind of languages they speak. I can speak Goblin, and I don't look like one, right?
Says, all I know is Charlton.
I see. I
was going to ask, are we going to need me to speak in the language and matter? Because the best I could do is only at least understand them, so I'm not sure.
Oh,
What does
Would
your
they be able to understand you?
No, they wouldn't be able to understand me. I would only be able to understand them.
Azaka kind of shrugs her shoulders and she says, well, at least if one of us understands one, the other might avoid conflict.
Yeah.
There were many Grung inside, yes?
Yes, there were. And different colors, and I think some of them were children or young ones.
I pull out the flyer for the fake religion
Right.
and just be like, can't you just... And I look at it, the flyer, and give like whoever is close to me. Can you just,
That's Sin,
this
but
is
he was just
universal.
AFK.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
back.
universal.
Sorry.
You need to tell him again what you are doing because I think he didn't hear the first part of that.
Oh, I pulled out the flyer that you gave me for Sacred, and I just said that it's universal. Why don't we try that, using that as a means of communication?
So
can certainly
basically, you're saying we all turn into Jehovah's Witnesses and knock on their door.
Essentially.
What's Jehovah's Witnesses?
It's a religion. It's a
Basically
real
that.
life religion. It's basically just knocking on doors. But yeah, I mean, Azaka, you all kind of look at her and I works for you.
I
Can
just
you-
wink like, yeah, it worked.
Can you refresh my memory? How long exactly do I have to study a culture before I can communicate? Is it an hour or 24 hours?
It is at least 1 day before
One
you
day.
rudimentarily communicate with
see.
a group of people. And I mean, that's like knowing yes and no in their language and
Okay.
kind of drawing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it's entirely possible.
Well, I don't think that Mr. T has so much time for me to fly around as Corb and listen to them, and I don't want us to stand here on the threshold of their settlement. Let's just proceed there, and let's try to look.
Friendly.
Yeah, but not like
Hugs?
easy prey, okay?
Don't
Give them
hugs. We don't
hugs?
want to surprise them or
You
scare
stay
them.
in the back.
Oh.
Probably as soon as Morthos would see a Grung, he would cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. So you are readying a spell for the trigger of Grung approaching. When you
I'm hiding-
approach, sorry, Ambrosia, go ahead.
I'm hiding behind the biggest person.
That would be Sin. So you are right
You
in
and
the
me both.
back. When you guys approach the entrance to this wall, you hear a strange croaking noise, and then jumping out of the foliage with these crazy leaps are these strange frog-like humanoids. These ones are all green-skinned, and they brandish daggers at you in kind of a semi-threatening, basically, hey, if you're gonna do something, we're gonna do something, but you know, we're ready. One steps forward and he just opens his mouth and he just goes, yeah!
Did you get that? Ask Morthos.
Yeah, I would have cast it as soon as I saw them.
You
So
would have cast Comprehend Languages as soon as they jumped. That basically translated to, who are you and what are you doing?
they asked, "Who are we and what are we doing here?"
Which basically translates to, have you come to stand before our great king?
They also ask if we've come to stand before their great king.
Yeah, I look at everyone and nod.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll nod.
They nod, and he kind of puts his dagger away, and he kind of, yeah! And then he just immediately begins hopping off, as well as his remaining frog guards.
All right, then.
Pretty sure that meant follow them.
Yeah, let's go
Yeah,
after them.
that essentially was follow me.
Okay.
I hope
It's a
this
very
king
strange
speaks
language.
common.
All right, so you guys begin working your way. You know that this maze changes. That the very walls and interior passages seem alive with the vines that close and seal off passages behind you and open up new passages in front of you. And yet these grung never seem to stop. They seem to know exactly where they are going at all times, making their way through this area. You were at the north side of the maze when you entered. You make your way through that outer ring all the way down to the south side of the maze. And you are so turned around, there is no way of knowing how you get back. And as you come through the opening in the inner maze wall, the rest of you see what Runa saw from high above. You see a small lake surrounded by reed huts, ferns, and lily pads. Rising up from a flat island in the middle of the lake is a 60-foot tall shrine made of painted mud bricks, shaped in the likeness of a giant frog. Stairs climb from the lakeshore to an open doorway carved into the frog's fat belly. Patrolling the shrine's perimeter are several small frog-like humanoids with bright orange skin and short bows. Looking around in the hovels, you can see additional of green, purple, and blue skin. The Grung leading you heads straight towards the shrine and leads you through the open doorway of the interior shrine. The interior is simply one hollow room. Just inside, a pool of water filled with phosphorescent fungi make the area inside this room seem like a dreamscape. A red-skinned Grung seems to be ordering 6 blue-skinned Grung to tend to the fungi. And you can see that they are throwing different flower petals into the water as well, creating a very distinct perfume smell. You are brought past this shrine, past this pool, to the back of the shrine, where an elevated semicircular basin of water, 10 feet high, sits. Wallowing in the basin is a Grung with gold skin. On its brow rests a golden circlet. An orange-skinned Grung perches nearby, short bow at the ready. As you approach, the golden Grung stares at you intently and opens its mouth slightly. And all is essentially quiet. Nobody has said anything. It's kind of weird. And especially for you, Ven, you're like, well, this is odd. We should be greeted. Somebody should be saying something. But the gold Grung is just like, have you guys ever seen how like a frog will sometimes sit there with his mouth open and he's just got like his weird frog-like tongue sitting there just ready to like lash out at something? That's what's going on right now.
I take half a step forward and then do some form of slight bow or something and say, oh great Grung King! Thank you for granting us an audience. I hope you understand common.
What
did he say? Ask Morthos.
I don't understand this dude.
Morthos, you'd have to cast the spell again because enough time passed that spell died.
Okay.
Because it's an hour? Is it an hour?
It's an hour.
Oh, then you would still have, I want to say maybe half an hour of it left.
Okay.
He says, who comes before the great King Groak?
He pretty much asked us to introduce ourselves. Who comes before the great King Groak?
I point to myself and say, Runa Rikasdottir. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, King Croak, right?
He's basically just saying his name, saying Groak, and your comprehend languages was a little bit confused by him saying Runa's name, and and so you're like, oh, okay, he was trying to pronounce it, not doing a very good job.
I make that correction to the rest of the party.
Yeah. He then kind of steps out, and you can see that he's a rather bulbous frog. He seems to sit quite a bit. His legs, you're not sure, would be capable of even jumping as they kind of seemingly kind of bolster down under his weight. And he says in Grung, which you translate, Morthos, he asks, why you have come, and is it to see him bond with Nang Nang?
I don't want to see him bond with anything.
I second that.
What
I
is it?
say, oh great King Croak, we are looking for Mr. T, our dwarven friend, and then I try to pantomime a beard and being small.
Okay. He kind of looks at you really strangely, and then he kind of kind of laughs at you. He thinks that you're,
His gesture, right?
trying to, yeah, he thinks you're entertaining him.
I have no illusion spell, so I can't. The sensory effects that prestidigitation can do can't create an illusionary beard or something, right?
Oh, let me look up prestidigitation.
I think it's only like little sparks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Small mark. Non-magical trinket. You know what? It's a beard. I'll say if you wanna use for just a split second to give yourself just the scraggliest of dwarven beards, and then it just immediately goes away. I'll allow.
Okay, then I'm going to do that, and I will yell some curses in Dwarvish, because I think that that's most likely what Mr. T had been yelling when he was captured. And then I put it away, and I
Okay.
let my eyes like I'm looking around, and then point at the beard again. So make it appear and go away, like looking
King
around.
Groak kind of, and then he basically says in Grung, which you again translate Morthos, he says, "I have not seen your hairy short friend."
Oh,
And then he continues to say that the ritual is this evening, and he would be pleased if you were his honored guest.
okay.
I've had a few honored guests in my time. That does not bode well for us.
Can I do an insight
I haven't
check
been
on
there.
him? Are we going to be sacrificed to whatever he's doing tonight?
Sure.
16.
16. Okay. It's hard to tell. He's a frog. But at the same time, they haven't tried to kill you yet. They haven't tried to put you in bonds yet. He is just inviting you to join him for dinner as his honored guest. You can see that, perhaps maybe while it might be good to be on your guard, at the same time, they seemed fairly good defensively. They seem okay to kind of be around.
I mean, they did not take our weapons or anything. And maybe if we are guests here, they must have scouts, right? There were guards at the border of the settlement, and we saw Grung trucks, so maybe someone will have seen him. I mean, he seemed to recognize that there's someone small and hairy that we are looking for.
I say we should go.
Yeah, we should stay maybe. Also, I don't know about you, but I have no clue how to get through this labyrinth, and I don't cherish being crushed by vines like that zombie was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can second that.
So let's be on our guard, on our best behavior.
Behavior. Sin. No loud drums.
Sorry, Ambrosia, what'd you say?
Ever since we got there, I'm looking around, and you know how horses have those like eye covers? I'm trying to cover as much as I can so I can see and make less and less eye contact with them if I could,
Okay.
and just
Um,
like clutch with the biggest person in the group.
okay.
Like,
And, all right. And as you are ushered of King Groak's audience chamber and brought outside, they bring you to a small little bit of land off to the kind of southwest of the island, the kind of shrine island in the middle. And they give you an area. The frog person, your comprehend languages fades, but you get the impression with the frog, with the grung kind of going, blah, blah, and then he kind of slaps the ground with his kind of wet foot. You get the sense that he's saying, stay here. This is where you sit. This is where your camp can be, kind of thing. At this moment, let's take a moment to all raise our glass and cheers, Gloss and Gadget.
Cheers!
So looking around, you can see that there are a few individuals that do note, but perhaps there seems to have been something said, because they seem to all be genuinely giving you a wide berth, although there is definitely curiosity in the eyes of these Grung. Looking around, you guys can see that the blues and purples seem to be kind of the masons, the artisans, the homemakers, everything else. And very distinctly, you can tell that the green-skinned, the purely green-skinned, are the warriors of the tribe. The gray-green skinned, the little tiny ones, those are indeed the children. And you can tell that these children seem to all have that exact same coloring. So perhaps when they reach adulthood, their skin tone changes, and then they are essentially put in, that is your role now. That is what you do. One of the little tiny grung, as kind of a grung mom and dad and their kid are walking past, one kind of wanders up and just kind of stares up at Ben with these big, like, bulbous frog eyes.
Ven does not know how to react to a small frog thing, so she kind of just waves and steps back a bit.
It just kind of, and then just kind of, you hear the mum kind of, and the kind of baby grung just kind of hops off. So you can definitely tell that it's this situation of both of you kind of going, who the
Trying to
hell
assess
are
each
we? Yeah. However, you can see that there is a number of blue grung working on a number of fire pits. Now, they don't seem to be setting up any kind of like roasting spit or any kind of sacrificial burning
I was
pole
gonna say no pyres, right?
or anything else like that. No, these seem to just be genuine bonfires. They seem to just be setting up for the evening. At this point, you are kind of, your attention is kind of grabbed by someone essentially, for lack of a better word, licking the back of your ear, Runa. It's this like gross tongue that just sticks to the back of your ear for a sec and then kind of retracts.
I look around.
You can see, making an effort to hide behind all of you, is the red-skinned grung you saw earlier.
In the temple, shrine, whatever. Palace. Yeah. Okay.
And it kind of beckons you to come towards it.
So.
And it definitely seems to be trying to avoid being seen for whatever reason.
Sin, can you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you stand really tall and menacing so I can hide behind you with this little frog so no one sees us talking? I think it wants to communicate something to us
Sin stands
without being
very
seen.
tall and kind of shoves
Puffs
his arms
himself.
out and just he's kind of looking a little rougher.
Thank you.
You crawl behind, and this
Mhm.
Grung kind of comes forward, seeing that you've given him an opportunity to kind of come forward.
Do you
And
speak
he
our
begins-
language?
He shakes his head.
That's too bad. Unfortunately, I don't understand you either.
Does
I
Morthos
say-
see any of this, or?
I would assume so. Runa would have kind of.
Morthos,
Yeah.
I need your help.
Keep in mind, unless I rest here in a little bit, it's the last time I can do it today. So
Oh,
I cast
no.
comprehend languages again.
Okay. You then kind of step forward, and the red Grung looks at you and notices that, like, oh, okay, this is their translator. And he immediately begins to talk to you. He introduces himself as Croak.
A red Grung named Grunk.
A
Right?
red Grung named Croak. Yeah.
Okay.
And he immediately begins launching into telling you, Morthos, that he thinks that King Groak is completely off his rockers, batshit crazy. And that King Groak's plan to summon Nang Nang is going to fail. And when it does, he will go into a rage and basically kill people for the hell of it, using what essentially translates to Blasty Crown.
Well, that's not good.
Wait a second.
And-
What is Nang Nang, by the way? Nang Nang?
Yeah. Croak says that Nang Nang is the Grung's god, essentially. And so essentially, King Groak's plan is to summon Nang Nang, mate with her, and have essentially little baby god frogs.
I get it now. Why that one thinks the king is crazy.
And while Will goes AFK, Morthos will be still translating this. Croak basically asks for your help in fooling the king. So basically, either being or pretending to be, crafting or something to basically make a Nang Nang appear, appease the king, and make the ritual be complete. Croak says the only two things that are needed is that Nang Nang must fall in love with King Groak, and then Nang Nang has to leave at the end of the ritual. Now, Croak says that he does have something that may help. He doesn't know what it is, but he seems to think that it is something that essentially humans could use. And he hands you a wooden box weighing about a pound. And when you open the lid, or rather, Croak would open the lid and show you, there are 4 pots of different colored, kind of thick, viscous liquids inside, sealed, and a paintbrush inside.
I kind of hoped for a spell scroll of major illusionary image or something like that. Any idea what this is? Ask
It
Morthos.
looks like paint.
It does, yes.
Yeah, that's my best guess.
I mean-
Morthos, roll an Arcana check.
I would also like for Morthos to ask at some point, how many people or grungs are on his side, as in the king's side. Are they going to side with him, or are they going to see reason?
That's a 12 for Tolley, and I can only understand. I can't speak it.
Oh shit! I forgot.
I'm sure he understands us though, right?
He seems to a point.
Morthos, you're not sure. It could be, but you remember in a lesson in the Archmage Arcane in the Hoss Tower, you remember that for lessons sometimes there would be lessons on essentially the monster manual kind of thing, where they would, today we're going to learn about aboleths, and they'd, it would be all about kind of the magical capabilities of these creatures and everything else. And the wizard that taught this class had an amazing capability. He could go to a box that looked kind of just like this, dip a paintbrush in pots that looked kind of just like this, paint a two-dimensional image, and it would transform it into a 3D image that would not necessarily move or animate or anything else like that, but it would be there. And you remember that you had asked, and you had discovered that this was a magic item that the party now has, and it is called Nolzur's Marvelous Pigment.
Yeah, I definitely explain all that to the party. Because that's cool.
Yeah, so basically, just to read you exactly, these pigments allow you to create three-dimensional objects by painting them in two dimensions. The paint flows from the brush to form the desired object and concentrate on its image. Each pot of paint is sufficient to cover 1,000 square feet of a surface, which lets create inanimate objects or terrain features such as a door, a pit, flowers, trees, blah, 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 that are up to 10,000 cubic feet. It takes 10 minutes to cover 100 square feet. When you complete the painting, the object or terrain feature depicted becomes a real, non-magical object. Thus, painting a door on a wall creates an actual door that can be opened to whatever is beyond. Painting a pit on a floor creates a real pit, and its depth counts against the total area of objects you create. Nothing created by the pigments can have a value greater. If you paint an object of greater value than that, it will look like the object, but will fail inspection. If you paint a form of energy, such as fire or lightning, the energy appears but dissipates as soon as you complete the painting, doing no harm to anything. So it's rather a weird but incredible magic.
Use that to get out of here.
Yeah, we could just leave.
You could just paint the door, right?
Mm-hmm. You would essentially have to paint one door on the inner wall
And then on the
Another
next
one.
one.
walk right through.
What was
But
that?
that'll piss off
item
everything in
called?
here.
Mhm.
Do we need to like distract him so someone can draw the door?
I would like to pantomime again and ask after Mr. T by showing the beard and doing and
Okay.
has
Croak
that red
notices
ground.
this, and he says, "Your small hairy friend is here."
Where is he?
He is being held in the prison pits to the northwest. Within this main circle. Croak says, if you help with the ritual, Croak will use the distraction to go and release Mr. T and bring him to you.
I would like to do an insight check to see if that is something that he really will follow on true.
Sure.
That's a 33.
A 23 or a 33?
20. Nick,
Okay.
33. No.
I was like, Jesus, how are you getting
I rolled a
33?
17.
He actually seems legitimately sincere. And you get the sense that maybe King Groak is indeed batshit. He's just
Crazy.
lost. And that normally the Grung are perhaps a little bit more peaceful creatures,
Okay.
at least this community, and that maybe this king has now made them into kind of evil creatures. Interestingly enough, I should note, all of the Grung have avoided touching you.
Aside from the one that licked her.
Aside from the one that licked you, but that was actually physically touching you with skin, not licking.
Okay. Because they are poisonous, I think, Vatanga.
Azaka and Wakanga
Azaka.
and his guards have all told you that they are poisonous frogs.
You said that the pigments can only paint like inanimate objects.
Yes.
How?
Essentially, to create the illusion that Nang Nang is going to fall in love and everything else, you guys are going to have to come up with.
Does it last a certain amount of time, or is it permanent?
As far as I know, it is essentially pretty permanent.
Can any one of you do any form of illusion spell that would make as if Nang Nang appears?
Well, I mean, I can at least cast thaumaturgy and create some tremors.
And I have prestidigitation. I can make some glittering things appear or make it smell really nice. I don't know.
And we can paint a costume for Sin to wear.
That's a good idea. He would make a really attractive Nang Nang.
Exactly, a nice, beautiful lady frog goddess.
Ew.
Uh,
Oh.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get him to leave, because Nang Nang has to leave.
Nang Nang is, sorry, not Nang Nang. Those objects are permanent. Once they're drawn, once you stop concentrating on the drawing, it stays.
So how would we get it
if
to
you do the door
poof?
plan, you will put 2 permanent doors in this.
Oh, that's an asshole thing to do. I don't want to do that.
All right, so
Maybe
how
we
do you want to do
can-
this? The light is going down as it fades. Croak gets out one last thing to you, Morthos, and that is that the ritual is happening tonight in a number of hours, and he will nod at you when it is time for Nang Nang to appear.
I mean, the king is crazy. If none of us has illusionary magic, has any of us an mind-affecting magic? So, I mean, in the end, it would be sufficient if only the king sees Nang Nang, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't mean that the other Grung have to see her.
I have an idea. Let's say we do
Shoot.
create some sort of picture of Nang Nang, and I'm able to rest so that I can cast some spells again. Even if I'm there just for 30 minutes, I'll be all right. I can cast my unseen servant to move the picture as though it's real.
I like it. We could make maybe paint some form of costume, and then it can go inside and move it around or something.
I'm sure I can do that. It would be at least worth a shot.
Can your unseen servant, quote unquote, fly? Could it like just fly out of here?
No, its feet is on the ground.
But it can walk out.
Yeah, it can walk around.
It could probably just like walk through the walls.
It can essentially walk either through the wall or beyond the wall. They would drop the unseen servant, right?
The unseen servant is invisible, right? So you wouldn't see the
You need
feet,
to
right?
long rest. Morthos, or short?
Short rest. Long or short, I can regain my spell slots.
Okay,
Oh,
short.
that's so neat.
see.
Short, you will definitely be able to pull this off. Long rest, no, you don't have enough time. But short rest, yeah, you can definitely have those spells.
Okay, Sin, it's your time to shine. You can paint us a really sexy Nang Nang costume. You're the only one who has any skills with painting, right?
I mean, I used my crayon or my coal.
Now,
And now we have
interestingly enough,
magic painting.
you don't know what Nang Nang looks like.
Did they know what Nang Nang looks like, though?
You don't know, you didn't ask.
I highly doubt that they have ever seen Nang Nang.
I
That's
do not
actu-
know what a Nang Nang looks like.
A sexy
there-
rock goddess.
Are there any white frogs?
White frog?
Like pure white frogs?
It's a good thinking because the lighter the color, the more higher up in the hierarchy they are, right? So
And
platinum
it's-
or white. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
So say we paint a costume, and a servant wears it, and Morthos creates tremors when it appears, and you create sparks, and I can create a gust of wind blowing around.
Mhm.
I think we have this.
Yeah,
And my
I think we
unseen
have a good
servants
chance.
can move around as though we might be able to just pull this off.
Is it able to touch something? Like caress the king's cheek? I don't
Now, I will say, as part of the conversation, Croak would have told you that Nang Nang needs to speak.
Oh shit!
Oh no.
What does I love you in Grung mean?
You would have asked Croak?
Yes.
Croak would have essentially told you that I to
Can anyone do that?
No.
Can we use like thaumaturgy to like mimic those sounds?
That's not a bad idea.
That's a good idea. I
Yeah.
think prestidigitation can imitate sounds. Let me check.
Everybody's checking their spells.
That's it.
We are
The-
playing Dungeons and Dragons, guys.
With thaumaturgy, you can create an instantaneous sound, such as a rumble, thunder, cry of a raven, whispers. So maybe it could make that.
Yeah, I'll say that it would be short and quick, but you could theoretically get out that sound.
That's amazing. Maybe if you can do that, then use it to say, King Krog, I love you. If she has to talk, maybe that's enough. Because she's speechless, because the king is so fabulous, right?
Just in awe of all of him, because there's a lot of him.
There's a lot of him, yes.
All right.
So who's painting?
Yeah, that is the first question.
What would you have to roll to paint Nang Nang?
You'll have to make an intelligence check.
Okay, who's smart? Oh, I'm not that bad. I have 14 intelligence.
I think the person in the highest party that has the largest amount of intelligence. Oh wow, you guys are all really not very intelligent.
No, we're not.
Great!
Sin will try
I
just,
just
for
mean your
shits and
intelligence
giggles.
scores.
What about religion added to it?
No.
Hey, our elven companion looks pretty smart.
Sin
We're
will
just
try.
brand new girl. We just look at her. How smart are you?
How are your painting skills?
I just look at you like really confused. Please don't make me do that.
Yeah, you get the impression that perhaps this trepidatious elf too frightened of everything, would not be able to concentrate the kind of penultimate time that it would take you to do this.
All right, I vote Sin. He seems eager.
Bring
can
out my
I-
piece of coal.
And can I help him? I mean, I know I'm a cleric. I know iconography and stuff, so maybe I can give him some pointers on how a goddess might look like.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to help as well and avoid like a hot pink monstrosity.
Yeah.
All right.
Then I
So,
give him guidance.
as you wait for the evening to settle in and you guys wait for the plan, you guys watch as more and more grung begin arriving. Hundreds begin filling this space.
Oh no.
As the last vestiges of sun pass out of view, the fires begin to be lit. The bonfires create this strange fog smoke that fills the air. You can see that there are fumes being thrown about and flowers being thrown about, and it gives this crazy smell. At what seems to be a specific time, all of the grung begin churring softly, just this low, just stepping out from the doorway of the shrine is King Groak, wearing his circlet of polished gold. He wears ceremonial garb made from wild orchids and is wringing his amphibious fat hands in anticipation.
So creepy.
The churring reaches a fever pitch. Now joins in. Croak catches all of your eyes and gives you a slight nod. Now is the time. All right, so first, to paint and or craft a representation of Nang Nang, I need Sin to make an intelligence check. You will have advantage on this because everybody's helping you and because of Nolzur's marvelous pigments.
And you have guidance, so you can add a d4 to that.
All right, so make an intelligence check, Sin.
Come on. Come on.
What'd you get?
Push it
Push
down.
Sorry. I rolled a 13 plus
Okay.
a 1, so that's 14. My other one was a 19, making it an unnatural 20.
Oh, very good. You guys watch as Sin essentially turns into Bob Ross, painting a happy little frog
Get the
friend.
devil out of it.
There lives a little squirrel in the street.
Happy
And
news.
all of a sudden, you see that as he begins to kind of paint, the paint kind of flows off the brush and begins to coalesce. And how big are you making Nang Nang, Sin?
Well, it is Sin, so he's going to do it, a little too big, but it gets the point across.
All right.
He's got, the hat on somehow, and he's got his coal, and he's like, so he's got coal all over his beard now, and he's just,
All right.
Beats
so
the devil
all
out of it.
A sudden, Nang Nang begins to rise among these grung. All of the grung just kind of reach this kind of crazy fever pitch in the churring. At this point now, Nang Nang needs to move. What are you going to do to convince King Groak that Nang Nang is alive?
So, is the Unseen Servant right now, or which part is it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
And I command the servant to
Okay.
move Ning Ning around.
Okay. You
And I
guys.
make little sparks appear around her, like little flowers, and let a soft smell of flowers. I can have 3 effects at the same time from prestidigitation, so it smells really nice around her.
Okay, so all of
And
a
I
sudden,
start
you
wind
watch
around it.
as
Like
this object begins to kind of, and it's a bit strange because the unseen servant kind of has to move each limb separately. So Nang Nang kind of slowly, like, lurches forward, almost creepily in a way. I need, you know what? I'll make Morthos roll this. Make me a deception check, Morthos. Now, multiple people have been check with advantage.
Oh, I roll with advantage?
Yep.
Okay. I'll take the first roll, so that is a 23 total.
Oh, okay. So you
Right.
kind of focus the concentration of your unseen servant, and your unseen servant seems to understand from the will of its caster that, it needs to kind of create this more realistic thing. And so Nang Nang, now adorned with beautiful flowers and this tremendous smell, begins approaching the king. And you can see that the king has fat hands. He's so just excited about it all. And then he kind of, as the churring still reaches a fever pitch, he kind of goes down on his knee and he begins to kind of plead with this great Grung edifice for it to love him, for it to love his bulbous frog body. You don't hear it, but that seems to be what he's doing. And then he proceeds to seemingly go into kind of a mating call dance. It's really, really disturbing.
It is.
At this point, you guys get the sense that now would be the time for Nang Nang to speak.
Who does the thaumaturgy?
I do.
Okay, good
Thankfully,
luck.
Unseen Servant is not a concentration spell, so...
Thanks, God.
Let's see, what is it? The booming voice? That's what we need?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I cast thaumaturgy to create the booming voice, or to make
Now,
That is.
okay, so you're making it sound like what you had kind of thought.
Yeah, like as much as I try to gather from it.
Okay. Now, normally, because you don't understand Grung, this would be at disadvantage, but thanks to Gloss and Gadgets redeeming this a while ago, and it finally came up, you will have advantage, so you will be at normal roll for you to roll either a deception or performance check. It is up to you.
Deception for sure.
Okay.
Natural 20!
Oh, a natural 20. That's 10 XP for the viewers. And this Nang Nang seems to profess her love to the jungle, to the sky, to all who will hear that she loves and adores King Groak. King Groak seems pleased. He seems happy. He jumps about eagerly, absolutely excited for all that is going on. And now it is finally time for Nang Nang's blessed departure.
Can we look away?
Someone
You can, Ambrosia, if
that
you
play the
want.
music.
You're totally doing the wait, but I kind of, God, that's so gross. Now Nang Nang must depart. So whoever is departing, probably the unseen servant. So Morthos, yet again, I need a deception, persuasion, or intimidation check.
I want the flowers to gather around the king so he will only see flowers and smell that stuff. So when she disappears.
And I'm directing wind in his face, like full
Yeah.
force gusts in his face.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not getting advantage?
No, you would. This is not at advantage.
So that's 13 total with deception.
13 total with deception. Okay, so the unseen servant swings Nang Nang back around, and he kind of swings it too fast, so that the legs of Nang Nang kind of stay facing Groak, but the top body part seems to twist right around.
Can I make a sensory effect of her caressing his cheek or something so he don't look at her feet?
Sure.
Do that.
You focus and you see the kind of King Groak. He kind of, as he kind of feels this hand go up his body, and Nang
Luna's like,
falls
oh.
apart from the unseen servant. Groak seems thrilled. He seems absolutely excited, and he just kind of. The rest of the Grung join in, and all immediately festivities are displayed. Nang has joined with King Groak. This tribe of Grung has been blessed by the gods. And you guys make your way back to your little campsite, and you wait, and you wait. And finally, after a certain period of time, Croak comes hopping up, slowly dragging this large lump, essentially.
I rush over to help him.
You rush over, and it is Mr. T. He
Is he
seems
alive?
fine. He seems alive, but he's just dazed, confused. He kind of looks up at you, Runa, and he's and he just kind of pets
He kind of what?
your face.
Okay. I check him over, and is he poisoned or something? Or is he on drugs?
Roll a medicine check.
Okay.
We should go.
Absolutely, yeah. That's 23 again.
Okay. You get the sense that, yes, he is heavily drugged. And I mean,
Okay.
dwarves, most of the time they can withstand poison and drugs. So, I mean, for them to knock him out, holy crap. Like, he's on the amount of drugs that for probably the rest of you would kill you.
If I cast Lesser Restoration on him, that will remove poison from his body, right? So that should make him clear-headed enough to sneak out, hopefully.
Possibly. Yep, possibly.
I put my hand on his mouth so he doesn't yell or anything. And then I cast Lesser Restoration, and I'm like, psh, psh,
Okay.
stuff a beard in it.
You watch as the restoration washes his body, and he does seem to come coherent slightly. It's like
Okay.
you've taken him from really, really drugged to now a really, really bad drug hangover. So he's
Oh.
just kind of,
Poor Mr. T.
Runa, what happened? Where am I?
Be silent. This is a rescue mission.
And then he just immediately kind of just and
I
just
swear to kill him
throws
more.
up everywhere. He does manage to avoid your boots.
Good.
But you get the sensation that he is gonna be no help if you run into any problem.
So you think you can carry him?
Azaka runs
Probably
forward,
carry.
actually, and she says, I will carry him.
Oh, great. I do prestidigitation to remove all the pukes, so there are no traces left of
Azaka kind of,
vomit.
thank you.
You're welcome. Also, I don't want them to be able to follow us by a puke trail, so...
Is
Get
Croak
rid of
still
that.
there?
No, he pretty much left as he came.
So now how are we going to get out of here?
You have no idea.
Asaka, do you know where we are in relation to Camp Vengeance then?
She says, I think so. It is to the northwest a little bit, I believe.
Maybe we could paint a wall into a door into the wall, because those things were growing, right? I mean, they should be able to close off the doorway again as soon as we are
They do shift
done.
and grow, so I mean that is a possibility.
We wouldn't destroy their defense, at least not for long, right? So let's paint doors and get out of here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I need somebody to make an intelligence check if they are going to be.
I'll assist whoever's doing it.
Should I give it a try? Or would you like to do it, Sin? You did so.
You know what?
great.
I'll try.
Yeah, do that. I give you guidance.
We
Also
lost
does
the DM.
faster.
You're maybe not
Wait a
much of a
second.
priest, but you are an artist.
We lost our DM.
Oh no!
That's
One
not
of us
one to
could
lose.
take. One of us could take over, and everyone is now level 4.
Oh, I rolled a natural 20, by the way.
You did?
No.
No, he didn't.
You did.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! He seems.
So we killed the main boss, and you
Of
saved
course.
the world.
We got the
Yep,
dragon
Big Bad
horde.
is dead.
Azarac. No problem anymore.
We
Death
found Mr.
Curse
T.
gone. Mr. T found. Soulmonger
universe.
destroyed. We saved the universe.
We're Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And everyone of us built a temple to
Shh,
their
guys, Dad's
god,
back.
whatever.
Quiet.
Oh,
She's.
Hey, sorry, my Discord just crashed.
Oh no.
Am I back?
Glad you're back. Yeah.
We're good?
yeah, you're
Okay.
back.
All right, so who's painting the door?
Sin is painting, and I give him guidance, and I think Morthos said he is assisting.
Mhm.
Okay.
So here's my roll.
Yeah, intelligence roll, please, Sin.
A 5 plus 1. That's a 6.
Okay, you guys are really lucky that Sin's painting a door. Because it's really hard to screw up what a door looks like. So,
Looks like an Escher painting.
yeah, Sin paints the worst rudimentary door you've ever seen, and you guys very quickly step through the handle that I should note breaks because of how he drew it.
It's a little
And-
nub.
Yeah, you kick the door closed behind you and are now in the ring of the maze. You can see that directly ahead of you is the outer wall. Are you just going to run and paint a door there too?
I might as well.
Yeah.
Let's move a little bit to the side so they can't see that it's this. You know what I mean? If you see from that door to the other, just a little bit left or right.
Okay. So you guys move. You paint the door really quick. I'm not going to make you roll again because it's a door. You paint the door. It's of equal caliber. However, you find yourselves stepping out after the Grung encounter. You can hear them celebrating inside, and you all look around and you note that your friend, your elven friend, is not immediately with you. She has hanged back at the wall. The smoke and mist hang thick in the night air, but it clears enough to let a little moonlight through. It gives just enough light for you to see Ambrosia standing there, scimitar in hand, now firmly grasping it, no shaking, except her eyes appear strange, almost snake-like, and the necklace around her neck begins to glow that she had pulled out, and she pulls off the necklace and smashes it on the ground, and you see with a swirl of magical coloring, all of a sudden the high elf is gone. In its place is a monstrosity, an abomination, half person, half snake, wielding scimitar in hand. Everyone, including my lovely Ambrosia, roll initiative, please.
I knew it.
Lovely, my ass.
I knew
Yes.
it. Yeah.
You guys ready to play?
Oh, well, let's do this. Let's do this.
All right,
Did not.
For Morthos.
14 for Morthos.
14 for me too.
14 for Ambrosia. Okay. Who's higher in dex between you two?
I have 14 decks.
I have
Oh,
16.
Ambrosia beats you, so she will be before you. Sin, what's your initiative?
16.
16. Ben?
18.
18. Selenia?
2.
I have a 10.
And a 10 for Runa. Okay. Ben, you are up. And just to give you an idea of kind of what you're looking at, it looks like that. Sorry, the glare is really bad. There you go.
Looks like we don't have frog leg for dinner, but snake.
All right, Ben, you're up.
It's dark, right?
It is
Yeah.
definitely dim light for sure. The
All right,
moon light is out, but yeah.
I'm summoning my blade again.
Okay.
And I would like to step away from this giant evil monster thing.
I will say that essentially you and Ambrosia, or whatever this thing was that was Ambrosia, you guys are probably 20 feet apart. Collectively, the party is standing within 5 feet of each other. Azaka is carrying Mr. T. So from there, do what you will.
All right, 20 feet is where I want to be, so
Okay.
that'll work. And then I'm throwing it.
Okay. This is interesting. I don't really have to do anything.
I got a 17.
A 17. 17 hits Ambrosia.
I just have a question, like, where are we, like, position-wise?
Your back is to the door, Ambrosia, against
Mhm.
the wall of the compound. The
Different
jungle
from
lies
every-
before you. The party is ahead of you at 20 feet distance to you, and they are all clustered together within 5 feet of each other.
Hmm.
I know what you're thinking, and yeah, it's good.
Shit. Okay, I got a 9 psychic damage.
9 psychic damage. Okay, take that down, Ambrosia, if you would. I'll also
I
keep
will.
track
Can
on
you
my
repeat
own
that?
end. 9 psychic damage.
9.
Okay.
Okay.
Sin, you're up.
So Sin goes to. First off, he yells, "I didn't trust you because you didn't give me a hug." And secondly, you anger me. You took Mr. T. Sin just goes into a deep rage, and his eyes turn red to blue blue again, and he's just angry. Lightning goes crackling around him, and he says, "This is for my friend." He actually just grips the two-handed axe with one hand, making it still versatile, and at the end of the sweep, he's going to grab it with two hands, do the double damage, and he's also going to use Great Weapon, and I'm going to take the penalty, -5 to hit, but add the 10 damage if I hit.
Okay. So you are running right up to melee with her,
Oh, yeah.
and your radius of your aura is what, 20 feet?
10.
10. Okay, so you actually run up. As you run up, your rage alights. You guys immediately see lightning, small little bits of lightning begin striking the ground all around him. But luckily, none of you are within vicinity this time. And Sin runs up. Make your attack roll, Sin.
Did we lose him?
No,
No.
I think he's just
That is
mathing.
Or-
18 to hit, minus penalty. So that's 18 to hit plus all my things.
Oh, that hits.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, this one's gonna be nasty, Ambrosia. It's a good thing you got some
Yeah.
hit points.
That is for the initial strike. It's 28 damage.
Okay.
Lightning
Wow.
damage. If you make the save, which you have to make a deck save of 13 or higher,
Let's see.
and then
13. Natural 15.
all right. Well,
Alright.
I rolled a 1, so for the lightning damage.
Half would mean she just takes none.
Yeah.
So
All
just
right.
28.
So just 28. Yeah. All right, and it is your turn, Ambrosia.
Alright, let me just take that down. And I cast fear.
Okay, I take it you are centering the cone on pretty much the entire party?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, for fear, let me just look it up.
My is the DC is 15.
Yeah, you
And-
guys need to make a wisdom saving throw.
I don't know. Can I actually be feared?
As an
Osmar?
Osmar? I'm not sure. You'd have to look that up.
Well,
Let's see. That is 17.
I also got a 17.
I have 25.
Holy crap.
I rolled a 19.
Sin?
Come on, guys.
That
just
is
too good.
Sick.
We are the crazy bunch of people who went into child, so we are not afraid of anything.
Did you hear me?
No.
No,
That was an unfortunate 6.
Oh, we got one.
at least one.
All right. Selenia,
um,
have
So
you
basically, that's my
discovered-
action. I'll.
what do I have to roll?
Wisdom saving throw.
I don't know. I have to look that up later.
Okay. And that is your action. Are you going to move Ambrosia at all?
I'm gonna move between the guy that got into melee with me and the party. Like between
Okay. Interesting. All right.
I got 13.
13. Okay, so you also fail. Now, I should note that just so you guys know, when you are frightened of her, the only action you can do is the dash action. And you must move away by the safest available route to move away from Ambrosia now. If you end your turn where you don't have Ambrosia within sight of you, you can make a wisdom saving throw. And I'm just trying to look up really quickly whether Asimar is indeed afraid, but it is Morthos' turn anyways, so go Morthos.
All right, so I'm going to use my bonus action and put Hexblade Curse on Ambrosia.
Okay,
And run up and stab it with this rapier.
all right.
Nat 19.
Oh, that counts as a critical with your Hexblade Curse.
Will this give the audience 10 XP?
I think specifically for only nat 20s,
Okay.
we're gonna be doing that, but I'm
So I don't have to tell Renee, right?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, that is 18 total.
18 total. Okay.
Alright.
18 damage to Ambrosia. You're still doing okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Selenia, let me just see. I just pulled it up here. There you are. I see nothing about you not being able to be frightened.
Okay. Alrighty then. So,
So you are frightened, which means all you can pretty much do on your turn now is run away from the source of your fear, up until the source of your fear is no longer within line of sight.
no longer in line of.
So you will have to run. You can only take the dash action.
Uh-huh.
Will double your movement, and you have to pretty much run away. So you are going to have to run essentially 60 feet into the jungle away from your party.
Guess that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Okay, you do that and you run away. Now you will end your turn in a location where where Ambrosia doesn't have line of sight on you. So you can make a wisdom saving throw now, please.
It's a 14.
A 14.
DC 15.
Yep, so you
Well, I
fail,
got
so
it.
you will still have to run away. All right, so that's your turn. Ven, you are up.
I would like to like rotate around Ambrosia, kind of between the rest of the party and where Sin was. So I
Okay,
don't want to get hit with another cone.
Right, okay.
So I just want to like separate myself from the party, but stay as far away from her as I am. I want to move 20 feet away.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then I'm gonna throw my blade again.
All right, make an attack roll.
So I got a nat 1 and a 3. Pretty sure neither of those are gonna hit.
No, neither of them are going to hit. Sin, it is your turn, and for the first time in your life, you are genuinely afraid. You feel fear.
Did you
are
skip me?
scared. Did I? I think I did.
Because
Sorry.
Sin
Aw.
did attack.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sin, you're not
How
running
you
yet.
gonna,
Bruna,
how you
you're
gonna
up.
skip her turn?
I'm going to I'm going to use my channel divinity path to the grave, and I curse Ambrosia and mark her life force for termination. So the next attack has advantage, and she's vulnerable to all damage types, which means she gets double damage.
Holy shit.
I
right.
glare at you with this. That's
Is that your action, Bruna?
that's my action, yes.
Okay.
And if I don't know, Azaka has Mr. T, right?
Yeah, Azaka has Mr. T, and she is pretty much standing over him.
And I will stand before her with my shield raised, and I glare at this
Okay.
treacherous creature.
And that's your full turn?
That's my full turn,
All
yeah.
right, Sin, you're up. You are again afraid. You can only take the dash action now.
And
As
I have
part
to
of your
roll a
fear.
DC to get out of fear.
Once you move beyond your sight of fear. So your movement is 30 feet, correct?
Yes.
So you're going to have to move 60 feet. Now, interestingly enough, you can't run into the jungle like Selenia did because the source of your fear is within sight that way, and you have to move away from the source of your fear. So you can either go right or left down the wall or back through the handy-dandy little door that's there.
I'm gonna go right.
Okay, so you're going to go right 60 feet, unfortunately taking that curve, and the snake thing having moved up, the line of sight is still there.
Okay.
So you are still afraid. So unfortunately, while that line of sight is there, you cannot make a saving throw. Ambrosia, it is your turn, but before you go, the reinforcements that you had planned and that had been tracking your movement with this party arrive. You guys watch as 10 figures come rushing out of the darkness at you. 3 of them have human bodies with a snake head. 3 of
I'm
them
a snake.
have human head and body with snakes for arms. And then 4 of them have a human head and body with serpentine lower half. And they all rush in to attack. Now, you guys note that essentially they are still too far away to all make any attack at you, but they are rushing out of the jungle at you. You have now been surrounded. It's not looking good.
All right, I'm gonna take my turn then. Who's the nearest to me?
Nearest to you would probably be, at this point, Morthos, actually.
Yeah, like right next to her.
I'm gonna use my multi-attack then.
Okay.
It says 3 melee attacks.
Yes. You have access to everything because you are in your abomination form. You can only bite and constrict once. But yeah, you can do 3 melee attacks if you want. So you could
Basically,
technically do bite, constrict, and scimitar.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, all right. Here we go. Does what's 11 maybe hit?
No,
That
11
was
doesn't hit.
That was the bite?
The scimitar. No, that was the
Oh, that was the
scimitar.
scimitar. Okay. Then what's your next attack?
I'm gonna go with bite next.
All right.
Natural 13, so 20 total.
Ah, that hits.
Okay, roll your damage.
7 piercing damage and 3 d6. Where's my d6? Does it get poisoned, or should he roll wisdom, or like?
No,
there's a
he'll
save?
get poisoned. There is no save to this poison. It's just poison damage.
Oh boy, 8 poison damage.
Okay. And you're constricting as well?
Yep.
Nice. So her tail comes lashing around to grab you and constrict on you. Apparently, things are liking to squeeze the hell out of you, Morthos.
Does
Apparently.
15 hit?
Yeah, it does.
Nice. All right, so hit 2d6 5 plus 4 9. The target is grappled. Until the grapple ends, the target is restrained, and I cannot constrict anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You're constricted.
What was that last constrict damage?
There's 9 total.
9 total damage? Okay.
9 bludgeoning, yeah.
You took that, Morthos?
Yeah. Okay, so before I pass out, I cast Hellish Rebuke.
All right. So as your last vestige of consciousness happens, you will use Hellish Rebuke.
Who's next?
13 fire damage, and she's vulnerable. So that's 26, right?
Yes, but doesn't she get a dex save from Hellish Rebuke?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Go ahead
so
and
make
do
a dex save for me, Ambrosia.
Mm-hmm. Damn it. 11.
Oh, yeah.
That is a
Takes
failure.
full
So you are
damage.
going to take how much damage, Morthos?
Because the vulnerability from Runa, that's
Yep.
26.
Whew.
Yikes.
All right. So, at this point, Morthos, you are unconscious. Roll a death save, please.
Hey, 15. That's a success.
Well, that is a success. Runa, you are up.
I am going to revive Morthos by casting, using Circle, what it's called, Circle of Mortality, to do max healing, and I send Coven over there and to transfer that spell, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I can stay protectively in front of Asaka and Mr. T. So you have 12 hit points.
You are
right.
still
Coven gives you a
restrained.
love pack.
Wait.
Am I still constricted then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You are still
Oh,
restrained,
no.
still grappled. until she lets you go, you are still.
Or if he makes
Or if you make a strength check, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. At this point, Selenia, you are up. Now, because I forgot, I'm going to get you to, I know this isn't the wording of the spell, but I'm going to get you to roll your wisdom save right now because somebody had given you advantage on the last one.
What's advantage? What I do? So I rolled an 8. I got an 8 total.
You got an 8 total. Well, the advantage would have been that you rolled twice. So because you got an 8 total, unfortunately, you are still frightened because you failed. You failed.
So I have to roll the dice twice.
No,
Yeah.
essentially, I had forgotten to make you roll the dice twice, and so
okay.
I'm giving you a save at the start of your turn versus the end of your turn. So you will still have to dash, continuing to dash 120 feet now away from the party. You are now a full total of 120 feet away.
So I can't like do anything, no spells, no nothing.
You could do a spell if you wanted, because it doesn't say that you have to do a spell. You just, if it's a bonus action, you're able to do that.
Check. So an action. The spell is. So can I use it?
You
No.
have to take the dash action as part of being afraid.
Okay. So I guess I gotta dash.
Now that it is the end of your turn, though, you get an additional wisdom save. So roll that now.
Come on. It's an 8 again.
Oh well.
So mad.
Okay.
See you in the next
You are
city.
still afraid.
Sound like snakes.
Not after that. Not after this. You won't.
Okay, then you are up, and I should let you know that you have advantage thanks to Arkararoth.
Isn't it Runa's turn?
Nope,
Yeah.
Runa got Morthos up,
That's right.
Oh,
I use
okay,
them.
yeah.
and it's Arkararoth, sorry.
That's alright.
Okay. I want to ask Ambrosia why the heck she's attacking us.
Ambrosia, I can answer that for you. She has been commanded to, and you must die.
And I say that in Draconic.
Ooh.
I don't understand Draconic, so I'm going to take that as an insult and throw my sword at her.
Exactly my point.
There you go.
And I'm rolling really low, even with advantage. That's a 9.
Oh! That does not do the trick.
Wait, hold on. I don't get like double advantage or anything, do I? Like I don't get to like roll 3 dice.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Advantage
Damn.
does not stack.
That's it.
Okay. Sin, you are up.
Can I run another additional 30 feet and start hitting on the 10 people that could be potentially hurting us?
Yeah, actually, you can. So you run up at one of these snake-headed people. You will have advantage on this thanks to Arkarath.
All right, I'm going to start thwacking. I'm going to start trimming the bushes.
Whack away.
Natural 20.
There you go. Okay.
And I'm
Roll the
raged.
damage. Now, this isn't on you. Don't worry, Ambrosia. This is on one
Yeah,
of
I
your
was
lackeys.
just about to say that. I'm so glad that one.
No, this is on one of your lackeys. Don't worry.
They're replaceable. It's alright.
20 points of damage to one of them.
Okay, 20 points of damage. He seems to take your hit and just kind of at you. Now, it is the end of your turn, and you are no longer within line of sight of the fear, so I need you to roll that for me, please.
All right. What was it again? That is
Wisdom
a
saving
10.
throw.
Yeah,
10, you are still afraid.
Nope.
Now, because you are... This is where fear gets tricky. If you stay where you are, you can take your full turn because you're no longer within the line of sight. But if as soon as you get within line of sight again of your fear, all you can do is dash.
Okay. Well, then I will not stare at her. I will just mock her while my back is turned. How dare you! But I'm still scared of you.
But I'm still scared of you. All right, Ambrosia, you are up. And yeah, you can do that.
All right, I'm gonna let go this creature that I got to like almost like killed.
Okay.
I'm not interested in that. I'm gonna go for the one that helped him.
There you go.
And I'm gonna go multi-attack on her.
Okay, Runa, the giant snake slithers up to you and is going to unleash a series of attacks on you.
It's Scimitar first.
Okay.
That's 16.
Nope.
Okay, her shield comes up and bashes away your scimitar. What's your next strike?
I'm gonna go with bite next.
Okay. You come down,
That's
you
a
arcing bite. 19. Does that hit you, Runa?
That does hit me, yes.
Okay.
Thank God. That was 1d6. That's 8 piercing damage and 9 poison.
Okay. And
I'm
then
still standing.
are you going to do your final attack if you wish?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
actually gonna.
You can scimitar again if you wish as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Oh, that probably doesn't hit. 16 again?
No, that doesn't hit.
Damn it.
Okay. At this point, with the
Can I, I'm sorry, can I use my move action to move away from them a bit?
Then I get an opportunity attack.
Yeah, you will get an opportunity attack, Runa. Morthos, you're still kind of waking up.
Okay. Opportunity attack has to be in the melee attack, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, are you moving away?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
She's going to join her forces.
An 18 hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Then I clock you in the head with my mace. Mace to the face. That's max damage for me. 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Cool, cool.
Okay. So, as this happens, you feel a hand rest on your shoulder, Runa. Looking behind you, you see Azaka, looking quite fierce. She turns to you and she says, "Get your friends out of here now. I will deal with this." And she pushes you out of the way, and you see her skin begin to ripple and change. You see she immediately begins growing sprouts of fur all along her body. Blackened stripes, orange and black stripes begin to grow out of her skin as she assumes her were-tiger form. And she will rush in and make a series of attacks on Ambrosia, owing her life to you getting her mask back for her. She misses both attacks on Ambrosia, hitting just shy of the AC for 14 and 10. But now she is basically causing the distraction for you to escape.
Okay.
What about Sin?
What about Sin?
Were you gonna leave him?
Have to deal with.
Okay.
Morthos, you are up.
Okay, so seeing this, and I cast Thaumaturgy on myself to amplify my voice, and I call out for Sin, saying, "We're leaving."
Okay. All right.
And I guess the next best thing to do was, like, run up away, catch up with
Okay.
Runa.
So you will join the rest of the party, essentially, and prepare to leave. Next up is Runa. What are you going to do? Now, I will say that thanks to Arkaroft, you do have advantage on whatever you do next.
I will do as Asaka told me. I will leave, but before I go, I will do one last spell, and I will cast Guiding Bolt. And I think I will have to do a ranged spell attack. Let me just check that up. I'm pretty sure that that's the case. Yes. I'm going to cast it at 2nd level because I'm so pissed off at the moment.
All right.
Oh, that's a 19, so no natural 20. It's just 25 to hit.
That hits.
Yeah, just 25, yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved it to be a natural 20, so that's going to be 46 of radiant damage. 1d6. Okay, 5d6 radiant damage.
Wow.
Remember, still vulnerable.
Oh, is she still vulnerable? I think it's only the first attack that hits.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
I think it's only the first. Wait a second. The creature has
If it's the first
vulnerability,
one,
and then the curse ends. So no,
Yeah,
you're a
okay.
hellish rebuke.
Curse is done. Hellish Rebuke was the only one that was the big one.
Okay.
All right, roll your 5d6.
That are 19 points of radiant damage, and she's outlined in this golden U, and so the next has advantage against her.
Can you repeat the damage?
19.
Alright.
All right, Selenia, you are up. Still running.
And I shoulder Mr. T, and then I get out of there.
Okay. Selenia, you are still running. Still running. You run a full another 60 feet. Make another wisdom save.
Oh, let me... A 9.
And you are still afraid. You're just just out, just gone.
Even though I'm still not in her line of sight anymore.
Yeah, you still do have to make the save. It's a bit different for Sin because he's got targets to attack. For you, you're just kind of blind running.
Mm-hmm.
All right. At this point, Ven, you are up.
I have advantage if I try to hit Ambrosia, right? All right, I'm gonna try and Chaos Bolt her at level 2.
Okay.
That is a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
Ambrosia, I get the feeling they don't like you.
Yeah, me
What
too,
made
I
you
know.
do
I
that?
did it first.
Quick math, quick
She's still
math.
muted.
Sorry, it's a big one. I'm gonna do 20 thunder damage.
Alright. Just let me.
Okay. And anything else you were going to do, Ven?
Yeah, I'm gonna run towards Selenia.
Okay. Sin, you're up.
Am I able to see if I can get rid of fear before I do my running away or potentially hitting?
Well, considering that the chaos bolt that arced out actually knocked Ambrosia down, your fear has ended, both yours and Selenia's. And you also very clearly hear Morthos go, "We're leaving!"
I grip my axe very, very hard as I want to keep striking down enemies, but I know it's probably best to run with my friends.
Okay.
As I turn and run 30 feet, so I'm probably right in front of her.
You also note as you run back, and you can even take the dash action to get further back towards your party, you note that more and more and more of these snake people are coming out of the jungle. They seem to have brought literally a cataclysmic wipeout force, and you can actually see that some of them begin casting fire at the maze. They are essentially wiping out this community of Grung as well as you.
I'm out.
All right. Next up is the snake people, and you see that one actually gets close enough and casts a spell at Ambrosia's still form, and you see Ambrosia twitch as if she has now been healed from the effects. Essentially, are all of you just running? All right, so as you run off into the night, Ambrosia arises, and you see Ambrosia and Azaka go into a huge battle. Snake person on were-tiger. Azaka clawing and striking and biting, Ambrosia biting back and throwing them down. But eventually, as you get further and further off into the distance, and the smoke begins to billow from the inner maze, the cries of Grung echoing in your ears, the cries of Azaka dying. You have escaped narrowly. Ambrosia, you are still alive, perhaps to return, and that is where we will end today's session.
Oh,
No!